Yeah, what's up everybody? Today we're going to be doing some more of the Umineko playthrough, and yeah, what's funny about today is I think the quote, "without love it cannot be seen," is going to be probably, you know, just taken in its most meaningful sense because of the fact that we are having such a big battle of love today, and I just feel like that quote is going to be used a lot today, I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be with, you know, George and Shannon, and probably, I don't really know what Shannon's going to do, but obviously it's quite significant about what George is going to do. But yeah, Jessica and Canon as well, we can't forget about them. And, you know, also Beatrice, I do wonder how that's going to differ with her. And, my God, we have a lot to look forward to, I think. We really, really do. And it's going to be quite a ride. It really will be. And I hope that it is written well, because I think this has a lot of potential. Oh, my God, man. This is going to be so exciting. So, yeah. Yeah. The only thing is, I mean, this love is such a wonderful thing that is actually happening between them two. But the only thing is, yeah, you may have to get past this person before you want it to happen. That is, if you obviously don't want your life to be completely changed, because he is willing to change his entire life so that he's with Shannon. He's willing to ruin his entire public image for it. Yeah, why didn't you discuss this with your mother? Oh, well, I think because of a reaction like that, maybe.
Yeah,
this is about the partner who's supposed to support you throughout the rest of your life. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's the woman I want to spend the rest of my life with. Fair enough. Yeah. No, come on. And that's why you need to choose very carefully, right? This is literally the person George wants to spend the rest of his time with. What do you mean? How can you be so rash? Yep, I already hate Eva. This is the thing, people just don't care about the person behind the, you know, status. They just care about the status. They don't care about the fact that this person is actually a really, really good one. They just care about the fact, like, oh my God, this person doesn't have any superior status. One of the most inferior ones, in fact. Instantly bad person, no matter how good of a person they could possibly be. Yeah, Eva and George could be seen beneath the eaves of the guest house. Oh, I see, so, yeah. George revealed his engagement with Shannon. Yeah. Eva's anger had exploded almost instantly. I think this is the challenge. This had been no more than George had expected, so he had responded with an ice-cold calm. Yeah. Did you sleep with her? I don't think they've actually done that before. I don't know. God. Yeah, isn't it just really interesting? You're totally seeing class here. You know, just, you know, total assumption that somebody's just a degenerate because of the fact that they're in a lower class. Yeah, did you sleep with her? She told you she was pregnant to force you into a marriage, didn't she? No! Seriously, yeah, how rude. Yeah, seriously, yeah, I'm a strong believer in preserving chastity before marriage. Because these people love each other? Why did you get engaged to Hideyoshi? Oh my God, turning it around on her. Holy shit, that would get her annoyed. That'd be the worst thing. That'd be the ultimate dirty play. Then why an engagement? Yeah, I asked her. Yeah, she accepted. Yeah, I asked her. Keywords there. Yeah, what more could be needed? Yeah. No, we're still wrong. Marriage isn't as easy as it seems in manga or whatever you're thinking of. What about her parents? Well, she doesn't have any. Relationships between the two families. Yeah, I mean, isn't it just really interesting to think that, you know, things like these, if you ask me, they shouldn't be the main focus of a marriage. Yeah, a relationship between the two families. Jesus Christ, are you some alley cat, or are you Shidomi George? George is going to have to put up with so much if he wants to actually have any chance of this happening. He's not going to be selected. How could you be so rash now, when you might even be selected as grandpa's successor? Why didn't you consult me? Oh, it's because of reactions like these. But yeah, that is a good way to win against the argument. Yeah, I'm consulting you right now. No, not consulting.
これはただの報告だね。
I'm just reporting.
おじい様の後継者に指名されるのは全く期待して
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've never counted on being selected as grandfather's successor. Oh my god, this is going to be interesting to see how absurdly mad Eva gets at the fact that, you know, George doesn't actually want to be the successor of a big-ass family.
むしろ辞退したいくらいさ。
Yeah, seriously, yeah. In fact, I'd rather refuse it if it did come to
僕
that.
は自分の国と城を父さんがそうしたように
Yeah.
何もない原野に築き上げたい。
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that is infinitely more respectful. Yeah, I want to build up my own country and castle from the empty wilds, just like father did. Ooh.
あのね、
Oh god. I love this. They're so absurdly rude. Now listen here.
父さんが今日までどれくらいの苦労をしたのか分かってるの？
To be fair, that is understandable. Yeah, do you realise how hard your father has worked to get here? Then again, I mean, obviously he has worked ridiculously hard, but at the same time, like, it's not really something... It's not like he can't
あん
replicate
たが
it.
真似てできるようなことじゃないの。
Yeah, that is fair. It's not something you could duplicate by imitating
今
him.
日までどれほどの運や偶然に助けられたことか。
But the only thing is, I don't really think George is necessarily meaning that he's going to become as ridiculously rich as Kinso. But, you know, you don't have to follow in his footsteps. You just have to build a good life like he did. I mean, you don't necessarily have to have the ridiculous value he has. Just, you know, enough to actually build a survival, really. Do you understand how often he was saved by luck and coincidences before now? Yeah, that is
そ
interesting.
して母さんという良き理解者の伴侶がいたから
Hmm. And he got through it because he had a wonderful life partner by his side. You!
サヨは僕を支えより強く生まれ変わらせてくれる人だ。
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, hang on a second. I don't know why I was thinking that Kinzo was being talked about here, but yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, so Hideyoshi is one of those people who has tried so ridiculously hard, and he has been saved by luck and coincidence. That is fair. Then again, to be fair, the more calculated you are as a person, the more you are going to be able to have luck and coincidences, because, you know, the more risks you are going to be able to win, the more calculated you are, really. Not necessarily, but, I mean, in an ideal world, yeah, but sometimes that may not be the case. You could have the best decision and then you could have the best informed decision and somebody could betray you, for example, and then that could mean everything just entirely goes downhill for some sort of proposition. Yeah, but I see that, yeah. Saito is the kind of person who support me and will make me reborn as an even stronger man. Yeah, I see that, yeah, and look at how good of a person Hideyoshi is. And look how successful he has been as well.
今の僕は彼女がいなかったらありえない。
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I do wonder what she's going to say about that. You've praised me for becoming the adult I am, but that could never have happened without her. What?
いいジョージ。
Are you listening, George?
とにかくここは一度母さんに任せなさい。
Jesus Christ, this guy is 25. I don't really think that's... I think that ship has sailed. Just let your mother handle this for now.
頭を冷やしてよーく考えて。
Jesus Christ, isn't it just really quite funny that Eva thinks this is such a scandalous thing that, you know, it's as if George is, I don't know, on drugs, high, irrational, drunk. Cool your head and think very
シャノン
carefully.
ちゃんだけがあなたに好意を持ってるわけじゃないのよ。
Well, I mean, George is a very nice person, and I feel like if you knew George in his old times, where, you know, though he was a really nice person, he wasn't really the most interesting or sociable person. Like, if you knew his act of kindness and his genuine nature from that, and then you realised how George, after Shannon had been there, had, you know, really increased in kindness, then I'm sure a lot of people would want to go for him. But at the same time, would he want to go with them? It's not just the other people's viewpoints, it's his as well. Yeah, Shannon isn't the only person interested in you, right? Oh my god. Ayumi-san from Keyword, that marriage meeting, really took a liking to fucking hell. Also, you're really going to say somebody who was from a marriage meeting is going to have more of an important impact with Shannon? Oh, first I've heard of it. Yeah, ironic, yeah. Yeah, I thought you knew. Her parents are also very impressed by you. Isn't it really quite funny to think that, you know, Eva is just trying her hardest to get what she thinks is best for George? Because this is the worst thing about this. You know, they both have different values entirely. Eva is just doing what she thinks is best for her son, really. Nah, no way. If you really dream to build your own castle like your father, Ayumi-san is the only one who'd really be able to help you, right? Do you intend to betray her feelings, even though they've literally only met in an arranged marriage meeting? That's absurd. Yeah, seriously, yeah, there's nothing to betray. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. There was never any special relationship between Ayumi-san and me. Yeah, it's just because of the fact that Eva is totally desperate. Yeah, we just had a marriage meeting and our parents got all fired up afterwards. That's horrible. Yeah, that's even worse. Yeah, and I think it's really good that George is just displaying his true feelings here. Yeah, he made us go out together several times, but we never even looked at each other. That's the most surprising thing. God. Doesn't matter. And if anything, though Shannon may not be someone with, you know, a background you can gain stuff from and you can that may not make your image look the best, she is still exactly those two things. Nah. I mean, this is the thing. It's just as if, you know, she is controlling George. I mean, you know, George would never want to tell him that because of the fact that Shannon's there. Ayumi-san is a well-bred, modest woman, isn't she? Well-bred? Fuck off. Yeah, she just couldn't look at you because you're a man and it would be embarrassing and ill-mannered. Yeah, I think if you can't look at somebody's love, then, yeah. If you can't feel anything from her unless she looks at your eyes, then just tell her that. I'm sure she'll look at you in the future. No. I mean, even if she does, why would you make it so that you have a love that looks good forever and, you know, continues to give them good connections in the future? Why would you do that if you're not fully happy? It's just pointless. I love it. First I've heard of it. Yeah, seriously, yeah. God. Incredibly to the point. No feelings considered. Brilliant. Yeah, that is what you need to be this sharp in a situation like this. You want me to marry Ayumi-san because it would benefit you? Yeah, seriously, yeah. Yeah, I love that, yeah. Yeah, you aren't pushing that engagement for the sake of anyone but yourself. Couldn't agree more. Oh, God.
Georgie!
Jesus Christ, she looks not only mad, but Yeah, it is horrible to think that, you know, these people's values are so different that George having a true love, you know, it does make her really upset. You know, even though it just totally breaks what a mother should feel for their kids, really. Like, she would normally feel incredible happiness because of the fact that, you know, George has found a love. But no, not in this situation. It's just totally twisted her views, really. George.
どうしてそんなことを言うの?
How can you say that?
母さんがあなたのことを考えないことなんてあった?
I mean, to be honest, I don't disagree with the fact that it will benefit her more than a relationship with Shannon. But the only thing is, like, she just has a totally distorted impression of what is actually better for him. Yeah, how can you say that? Have I ever failed to think about what's best for you? Well, you are now. It doesn't matter if you... It doesn't matter if you haven't. You are now, so... Yeah, I haven't, have I?
親という漢字はどういう字?
What is a parent's job?
木の上に立って見ると書いて親なのよ。
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, yeah. It's to look after the long-term welfare of their children. Isn't it really quite funny to think that these people, they have... I mean, this is a perfect mindset for a person. It's just they're using that perfect mindset and they're adapting it to their values, which are completely against what should be the case. So as a result, it, you know, it doesn't become a perfect mindset. Hmm.
母さんたちはね、あなたよりはるかに高みから人生の遠くまでを展望してるの。
We've been looking down upon your entire future from a great height.
そしてあなたが若さゆえの一時の感情で間違った道へ進もうとしているのが見えているの。
And from our vantage point, we can see that you're letting your momentary youthful emotions lead you down the wrong
だから
path.
こうして憎まれることを承知で言ってるのよ。
That's why I'm saying this, even though I know you'll hate me for...
あん
God.
たがどうでもいい子だったらこんな喧嘩しないわ。
Yeah, I don't agree. Now, to be honest, I don't agree. If I said, you know, she didn't care, she would just not approve it whatsoever. They wouldn't even be having this discussion. She would just say no reasoning whatsoever. If I didn't care for you, we wouldn't be
ど
having
こ
this
の
fight.
変な女とでも勝手に結婚しなさいって放っておいてるわよ。
Yeah, I'll just tell you to marry whatever strange girl you like and leave you be.
ジョージ、
You hear me, George?
母さんに全て任せなさい。
Leave this to your mother.
もうあなたはシャノンちゃんに会わなくていいわ。
God, that's horrible. There's no need for you to meet with Shannon-chan anymore.
母さんたちで話をつけてあげる。
We'll take care of everything for you.
大丈夫よ。シャノンちゃんにも悪いようにはしない。
Don't worry, we won't do anything bad to Shannon-chan.
ジョージに成長のきっかけをくれた人だものね。
God, she is just so... This is really quite difficult. After all, it's thanks to her that you've grown so much.
それに配慮してあげるか
Won't forget that.
ら。だからあとはもう母さんたちに任せなさい。
Jesus, she is totally breaking down. This is the worst thing, though. It's just sad to think that, you know, her values are so different to George's that, you know, this cannot happen without her, you know, without so much sadness being created, really. Yeah, so leave the rest to us.
ジョージ。
Yeah, this is the worst thing because, you know, her values are being compromised. She cares about George so much and she wants him to do as best as he possibly can. But, you know, this is something that she feels is really going to harm him in the future. It's horrible. It really is. It's horribly brutal. It really is. But what in Umineko was not brutal, to be fair? I do wonder how it's going to differ with Kraus and Jessica, by the way. I feel like Natsuhi... I'm sorry, but there is no way Natsuhi is going to accept that. I feel like Natsuhi's just going to be the person so stubborn that she's really going to strictly refuse it. I feel like there's going to be a little less love with Jessica's side. I don't know. Because obviously this is an entire response that is influenced by love. But I just feel like it's going to be more strict with Jessica's side. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Yeah, this is horrible. They are not momentary youthful emotions, my god. Whatever strange girl you like and leave you be. God. How's George going to come back with this? How's he going to counter this? We will take care of everything for you. You literally have had a relationship with Hideyoshi. Don't you understand that the key component of a relationship is that you find it yourself? Ooh, I wonder what he's gonna say. Yeah, my god, it must just be so tricky because this argument, though you were trying to force, you know, your mother to let you have one of the biggest changes in your life, it must just be so hard to argue this because you can see how, how absurdly you are actually affecting this person by trying to force her to, you know, accept this marriage, really. Yeah, sometime during Eva's rage, tears had started to drip from her eyes. Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, as though those tears had caused him to hesitate, George turned his back and sagged his shot. Yeah, that's understandable. It must be horrible to see someone... Yeah, oh, interesting. Even George is a child of man, after all. Okay, Featherin. Though he understands that marriage requires nothing more than the love of two people. Yeah, that is interesting. No, because the marriage could in theory happen, but at the same time, like, would the parents really accept it? No, but the only thing is, to be honest, I feel like in a situation like this, having Hideyoshi not there, I don't know why he's not there, but... Yeah, that is actually a really interesting question. Why is he not there? Hopefully we can get the location of Hideyoshi, but, yeah... I feel like it would be so much easier with him there, though, genuinely. He can't get over his desire for his parents' acceptance. And so, he is trapped between the tears of the mother who has always helped him. Oh my god, I know. Yeah. And the fiancé he chose. Oh, is he? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I think that's about enough. Huh? All my life. Yeah, you've done a great job raising me, and I'm grateful for that. When I have children and become a parent. Yeah, that is understandable. To be honest, it always surprises me how Eva is, you know, a really, really good parent. But it does make sense because, you know, she's a strict parent. She teaches people well. She makes people know what's right and wrong. And, you know, I suppose, you know, judging by George and how he's grown up, she's a really fucking loving parent as well. But the only thing is, I think George wouldn't have been nearly as good of a person if it wasn't for Shannon. So I think Shannon was also quite important because the thing is about having people like these as parents is, you know, he had the, you know, superiority just imposed on him and all of the gentlemanly approaches. Yeah, that wasn't good whatsoever. And he was never really told not to do that. But it was just something that came by having rich people as parents, I suppose. That's the only bad thing I can think of about their parenting. Ah, that's brilliant, yeah. Yeah, I'll be the kind of parent whom most worthy of respect in the entire world. One who can truly fight for his children's sake. Yeah. God, yeah, it must just be so nice to see how good of a kid you've raised, but also horrible to see, like, you know, what you wanted for that brilliant kid, you know, just completely changed. With his back still towards her. Yeah, George threw away his umbrella. Really? And slowly stepped out from beneath the eaves into the rain. Then he slowly turned around. It was without a doubt the familiar face of Eva's beloved son. Ah, yeah, however, he was now his own man. Oh, that's interesting, yeah. Yeah, self-controlled and independent enough that their blood connection might be forgotten. No, I do see that, and especially, do keep in mind, family titles may change. Maybe he's going to marry out of the Ushinomiya family, who knows? I think it's about time. For what? I think... Yeah, that's horrible. That is absurdly cruel. Yeah, I think it's about time you learn to let go of your son, mother. I mean, this is the thing, like... I mean, I get that the marriage can't be approved and everything because she will never do it, but my god. I think it's really good that George is actually making it clear what she is going to have to do if she doesn't approve this. I think it's time you learn to let go of yourself. Yeah, I do wonder what she's going to say.
ここからはもう親子の関係はなしで話そうじゃないか。
Oh, I love that. Yeah. This is actually a really quite smart move. So what you're doing is basically saying, like, if you can't accept me and what I'm going to do as, you know, your son, then why should you be my mother? Yeah, from now on, let's stop talking as mother and son.
僕はジョージ。
Yeah, I'm George.
君はエヴァ。
You are Eva.
親だからどうこうというのは抜きにして、互いの立場から。
Yeah, that is understandable, yeah. Yeah, let's forget that you're my parent and let our true intentions ring clear.
僕を望み通りの相手と結婚させたい理由は経済的事情。
God, yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, the reason you want to choose the person I marry is for financial reasons, public appearances.
それから未だいさかいのなくならないおじさん
Yes.
たちへの家。
God, isn't it really quite interesting that I think what George is also doing, he's trying to distance himself from Eva, so it sounds, you know, so it just sounds like, you know, they're not close because of the fact that Eva has deservedly made it so that they have no reason to be close because of her rejection of him. So, and you know, his relationship. So as a result of that, you know, he's now talking as if, you know, he's properly taken that rejection on heart and, you know, their bond has been severed, really. I like it.
それ以外に何もない。
Yeah, you have no other reason. I don't disagree, yeah. But to be fair, I don't disagree that that Eva definitely wants what is best for George. And this is, I think this is an incredibly harsh way of putting it, because I think this is genuinely, aside from all of those other benefits, I think that is genuinely what Eva thinks is best for George.
それをすっきり認めてくれた方が潔いね。
You do well to just give up and admit it
僕は
now.
これから僕の立場だけで語るから。
I'm about to share my point of view
君
with
も
you.
そうした方がいいんじゃないかな。
Oh, I suggest you do the
負け
same.
るよ、君。
Oh, that's interesting. To be honest, no matter what happens, Eva's going to lose. Yeah, and after all, you will lose. No traces of love or respect for his mother. Oh, seriously, yeah. But at the same time, it's understandable. You know, his biggest ambitions have been defiled by his mother. Sometimes you could just think, why should I love a person who does something like that? There was only a frigid glare as he gazed ruthlessly down at the witch who was trying to bind his future. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. George. Why?
どうして母さんをそんな目で見るの？
Wow, it's just, this is the worst thing because, you know, it's such a difference between values that, you know, he's really going to impose his values and he is going to make it clear that he does not want to know. Yeah, George, why are you looking at your mother like that? That must be so cruel.
今僕は
Oh,
母
that's
さんを見て
interesting.
いないからさ。
Because I'm not looking at my mother, somebody who looks like my
僕
mother.
の目に映っているのは
Fucking hell,
僕の選
that's...
び取ろうとする未来の前に立ちふさがる
I mean, that
試練の
is
壁だけさ。
an understandable way of putting it, yeah. All I see is a wall, a trial that's standing in the way of the future I'm trying
母
to
さんだっ
grasp.
て人間だ。
You're only human.
夢や野心があってそれを今も追い続けてるのは知ってる。
I know that you have dreams and ambitions and that you're still chasing after those.
そしてそれを素晴らしいと思う。
I think that's a wonderful
自
thing.
分の夢を決して諦めないことの大変さを僕たちは知っているのだから。
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we also know how hard it is for a person to chase their dreams without giving up. Yeah. So I'll need to inherit your wonderful strength. Yeah, I've learned a lot from my parents, my friends, and Sayo, and I've grown. Yeah. Oh my
その最後
god!
に学び
And the last thing I've learned,
獲得して完成されるのが本当の
acquired and perfect. Tid.
後宮ジョージという男なんだ。
Yeah, is the real Ushinomiya
僕は
George.
今あなたという最後の壁を越える。
Now I'll overcome the final barrier. You! Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, but this is such a good analogy, though. It's so true. I mean, my god, we can really see this in, you know, for example, Eva's life. God. I really, really like that, though. So now, with the perfected Ushidomiya George, what is he going to do? No way. What?
Nani?
What? Eva had disappeared. What? Huh? I am just genuinely so confused. The pouring rain landed evenly across the ground everywhere. No, it was blocked very slightly in one place. However, there was no one there. Standing on the ground isn't the only way to block the path of the rain. Then, could it be? Ooh. Oh my god, what? Oh, isn't that interesting? That is really quite odd. That's actually really, really interesting to think that this is weird. I mean, okay, Eva Beatrice is here, but the only thing I don't really understand, I mean, it does make sense that, you know, Eva has, you know, this kind of shows her true feelings of rage and her truly dark emotions that have brewed as a result of, you know, the rejection of her entire values and also just the rejection of George in general, you know, just like the son she cares about so much going down a path that, you know, she doesn't approve of whatsoever. Then again, it just really surprises me that Eva doesn't exist herself now, but Eva Beatrice does. Firstly, where did Eva go? Maybe Eva could have just walked out and George hadn't actually seen it, but then the illusion had made it so that the bad emotions of Eva Beatrice had, you know, I don't know, accumulated. Oh yeah, I fucking love her in a Dominator. Oh, I've missed hearing this song again, man. That is really quite odd. Like, genuinely, I just can't believe that she's disappeared. Sure, it's good for people to let their true feelings show every once in a while. Yeah, but the only thing is, this is the worst thing. I'll speak my mind too. So why don't you just lay it all out as well? Yeah, and isn't it really quite... I do wonder what George is actually going to think when... I mean, he's just going to treat this person as an opponent, but at the same time, I just wonder what he's going to view about the fact that Eva Beatrice has just suddenly appeared in the rain-filled sky with a moon that shouldn't have been visible behind her. Oh, yeah. Was the Golden Witch of the future who had finally obtained everything of the Ushidomiya family? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Even the drastic change in his mother's appearance didn't faze George. I know, it's ridiculous, yeah. Isn't it just really quite interesting to think that, you know, this illusionist came out? Yeah, on the contrary, he seemed to be moved by her boldness. Yeah, because his mother had honestly and truly displayed her true nature. Yeah, isn't it really quite interesting to think that though this is an illusion, you could think about the fact that this is just kind of like a metaphor for Eva Beatrice, so for Eva's true nature. I see that, yeah. Yeah, complete monster. Yeah, this way I can confidently show her my true self. Oh yeah, fair. Here we go, mother. Here we go, Eva. Yeah, I really do wonder what's going to happen. This is my first step towards escaping from your shackles. God, yeah. Isn't it just really quite ironic to think that, you know, Eva... This is just really interesting because of the fact that Eva has had such a horrible life. You know, like, the bad feelings that are buried inside her, they are bordering insanity. As we can see with this bitch. Right, what is he going to do? With that first step, he felt something odd beneath his feet. He knew that this sticky sensation, different from that of mud, represented his mother's arrogance trying to prevent him from making the first step. Oh, that's interesting. I just love how it's totally metaphorical. But the thing is, I kind of feel that with illusionary related worlds like this, you know, you can genuinely believe something like this and you can easily make it happen. Like, in the real world, to actually believe and to trick your brain into feeling a sensation, that must be so absurdly difficult. But here it's simple. I love that analogy though, that's actually really good. I used to read to you all the time when you were little, didn't I? Do you remember your favourite story, Journey to the West? That turns me back. Takes me back. Oh, that's the first fantasy I really love. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, wanted to become a god and was tested by Buddha. Oh, I like that. It kind of has some sort of similarity with what's actually happening here. But the only thing is, obviously, George doesn't want to become a god. He just simply wants to become somebody who has Shannon with him. If you can jump free from the palm of my hand, I will acknowledge your wish. Then Sun Wukong managed to reach what he thought was the end of the world and found 5 pillars standing there. Oh my god, only to discover that they were Buddha's fingers and that he still hadn't left Buddha's hand. Jesus Christ, what is the size of this Buddha? My god. But yeah, that is actually really quite interesting. So it's to think that, you know, there is an insurmountable barrier that you have to jump away from and that you have to escape from, and it's going to be very, very difficult to do so. And you're likening this to my first step, declaring my intention to break free from you. Your resistance, your conflict, your anguish and self-restraint and everything else. That is fair, yeah, all of it is a road I once travelled down. This first step of yours is so trivial that when compared to my life, it just gets gobbled up. How long are you going to look away? If only you just look at your feet. What is actually there, genuinely, I wonder. Yeah, at George's feet, on the pitch black earth, soaked by the pounding rain, was what appeared to be a slightly red sash that glowed ominously and blocked George's first step. What, so as in a sash window? That's really interesting if that's the case. Yeah, it was deep, vicious, and it held George's foot in place. From Eval's perspective, as she gazed down from the sky, it looked like a vast red spider web. Oh, I like that, yeah, that radiated out, with George at the centre. Oh yeah, I like that, yeah. That's right. This is me. This is me being tied down by countless studies. And raised for the sake of your ambitions. Yeah, that is understandable, yeah. No, but I do see that because obviously it kind of represents the restraint, you know, being forced to study would actually give on somebody's life. No, that's not it. Let me put it so you can understand. I'll show you. And then you'll realise the truth. That laugh. Okay, I'm sorry. I've got to turn this music down. Eva Beatrice. Eva Beatrice's voice acting is too good for me to miss. Oh yeah, I really love that. Thank you, man. Right. I hope that goes. Yeah, that is interesting. I like this story. It's actually a really quite interesting analogy. It just shows how much of an opposition Eva Beatrice is going to provide. Oh my god. The vast red spiderweb on the ground scooped up George as easily as scooping scum out of a pot. Oh my god. Then it lifted him into the air like a deer caught in a net and swung him about. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah. Laughing insanely, Eva was as innocent as and cruel. Yeah. As a grade schooler happily swinging about a bag filled with her gym. Oh my god, yeah, that is so ironic. Oh my god. Yeah, there is a bloody human being. That is so weird. God, that must be so scary. Yeah, now I can see why. It's as if, you know, with the Sun Wukong story, you know, just a whole massive hand that he is going to have to escape from. Come try to remember, okay? Jesus Christ. What happened on Tuesdays? Oh my god, so what's happening here? Gosh, he's just being totally tormented by this weird ass spider web that's covering him. I remember. That was piano lessons. I feel like Eva Beatrice is going to make him quite literally step on a cat. I hope he does. I hope she does. That would be so funny. That's piano lessons. I still cringe whenever I hear I stepped on the cat. Damn, you did violin in kindergarten. That's the sort of instrument you'd expect smart kids to play, right? Oh no. Oh, but you didn't seem to have the talent. It doesn't necessarily disprove the fact that he's smart. So we switched you over to the piano. Yeah, we switched you over. Didn't even have a say himself. Then do you remember what you did on Wednesdays? I remember. Yeah, isn't it really interesting to think? I think what Eva Beatrice is trying to do is make him feel as hopeless as possible to try and put him down in any respect that she can possibly do so with. I wonder. I remember, that was the day I had grammar school. Yeah, that's interesting. Another part that is affected. I mean, obviously you wouldn't have to go to cram school unless your ability was a little bit lower than average, I'd assume. So is that what Eva Beatrice is going to put him down for? That was the day I had cram school. It was so far away and a real pain to travel to. And Thursdays. Oh my god, right, so what's actually going to happen on Thursdays? Jesus Christ, his life sounds like a fucking pain though. Oh my god, she is hurting George. Jesus Christ. That was the day for supplemental lessons. You were just terrible at subjects with memorization, weren't you? Well, the thing is, it doesn't matter about what he was, it matters about the person that he has actually grown to be. I mean, there's the mindset, once pathetic, always pathetic, but, like, it doesn't apply most of the times. But that's just a horrible way of thinking. Yeah, you could apply your knowledge, but we're horrible at learning by rote. A classic, he can do it if he tries to. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, I know, too many of those. Yeah. Yeah, that one's stung. Ooh, Jesus, that is fair, yeah. Yeah, those are the most annoying words a kid can hear at a parent-teacher conversation. Jesus Christ, so that's what teachers actually say. Yeah, that must suck, especially if you're trying as well. Oh, that's horrible. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Yes, well, obviously, I suppose you can make George have the most opportunities he can in life by, you know, your efforts, really. But at the same time, he actually has to put the effort in himself to make those opportunities really mean something, to make your efforts mean something. Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. That's a British aphorism, is it? Well, too bad I didn't recognise it. Making you get and stay motivated. Making you get and stay motivated was the hardest thing to do. I just love Eva Beatrice for the sake of how deranged she is. She's just genuinely such a funny character. It's so fucking barbaric though. Jesus Christ! Are you ever going to stop with the cruelty? Well, no, this is Eva Beatrice. She doesn't stop. Just totally trying to put George down in every single respect, trying to make him remind, you know, I don't really understand what the point of this is though, because he's going to be reminded of when he was, you know, a pitiful kid, and, you know, now he's going to be reminded of how much he has changed to be the better, you know, really quite dependable and good adult that he is now. Wah! George was bound hand and foot by the bright red spiderweb. Oh yeah, fair enough, yeah. Reduced to the witch's plaything. Seriously, yeah. She innocently swung him around and smashed him about, all with an insane laugh. Oh yeah, understandable, yeah, again and again. Yeah. Isn't it really interesting to think that this is kind of like a metaphor for what Eva's thinking? You know, Eva just wants to impose all of her suffering on George because of the fact that, you know, he's basically denied all of the lessons that she's tried to teach in, you know, her upbringing, really. Well, no, actually, let me rephrase that. He's used her brilliant upbringing for, you know, an intent that she would hate, really. Do you remember what you did on Fridays? Of course. Jesus Christ, he had something going on every single day, though. God. As far as after-school lessons go, that one was pretty unique. What? A school you go to with your parents can be trying in more ways than one. Jesus Christ, yeah. Yeah, so these people sound like ones that have made it so that... Yeah, that is fair. Yeah, don't buy your child a fishing rod, go fishing with him. Well, I think fishing and leisurely activities is different to education. I couldn't imagine that though. I mean, you know, parents being so concerned about your studying that they literally go to school with you. I mean, you know, in an after-school class. Jesus Christ, I just wonder who else was, you know, going to this same trap, really. You certainly like British education theory, don't you, Mother? Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Jesus Christ, that school was hard on us parents too. I mean, that is understandable. With the most, labour-intensive things, they are also the most effective if you have a good outcome. They could also be some of the worst things because they could totally destroy somebody's desire to learn as well. Yeah, I suppose they got lucky. Yeah, that school was hard on us parents too. But for you, it was the most effective one. I mean, this is the thing. I feel like Eva and Hideyoshi, I can't really tell if firstly, they really want the best for George. We can't deny that whatsoever. But at the same time, they just kind of seem like the parents that are incredibly forceful in terms of what happens. Seriously. The monthly fee was high, and it was a pain to have to spend Friday nights there every week. Yeah, seriously, yeah. But it did more for you than anyone. I mean, I just genuinely don't understand what Eva Beatrice is trying to make a point of. What, they've done so much for him, so why is he not doing stuff for them, i.e. picking the relationship he wants to? Is that what it is? But it did more for you than anyone else. Anything else. Yeah, so it's just interesting that, they're incredibly forceful parents, but at the same time they are doing it with pursuit of caring about their kids, because there are so many kids that want the best for their parents, that want the best for their kids, that just unhealthily force their kids. And I'm getting those vibes from these people, but at the same time they love George, and, they want the best for him. So it's kind of tricky to judge that. That's when I realised. That is fair, yeah. Kids don't grow unless their parents watch over them. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I like that, yeah. If children are sprouts, then parents are the sun. Yeah, because obviously... Yeah, I suppose... Yeah, use any plant analogy and that works. Jesus Christ, no plants will bud, and no flowers will bloom without the sun. That is understandable, but the only thing is, I think, it's not necessarily just parents, but obviously... It could be other people, but the parents have the most authority over it and influence, if you ask me. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I do wonder what's actually going to happen. How is this going to progress? Still bound, hand and foot. George was thrown, slammed, and smacked. Yeah, seriously. What is he meant to do? Yeah, seriously. He could do nothing. Yeah, he was like Sun Wukong, unable to leave the palm of his mother's hand. Yes, I see that, yeah. However, since he wouldn't surrender, he could still show resistance at any time. Fair. I like that, yeah. I wonder how he is actually going to show resistance, though. Because he needs to. He really does. Because he is just being beaten to a pulp here. And what about Saturdays, huh? No way, the tutor came to his house. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, on Saturdays as well. But to be fair, you do have Saturday school in Japan, but still. He came to our house, which made it much easier, right? God, that must be awful. So must that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, these people do sound like the most, bossy and controlling parents. It was a pain having to invite some other person into my own private room every week. Oh, yeah. Wow. God, yeah, proper disgust. Yeah, I hate... I mean, it's understandable, yeah. I hated the smell of sweat left behind when he left. So much that I can still remember. Does this teacher shower? Jesus, why are you so absurdly mean? Well, I mean, it's Eva Beatrice, but still. I love that you can just answer any question of cruelty with, it's Eva Beatrice. He was a wonderful teacher who drilled a scholarly attitude into you. Jesus Christ. His monthly fees were on par with a lawyer's consultation fee, and it was well worth it. Yeah. That's awful. I mean, being forced for extra school for that many days, I can't imagine how awful that must be. I mean, my god. Yeah, and then you just get education here as a fucking joke. Like, nearly everything is just, optional. Any sort of Well, you can't even get extra school here. But still, like, it's just hilarious how much you can actually go out of your way for your kids there. And, you know, the thing is about this, I mean, though, it really gives you a good degree of, you know, parents wanting the best for their kid, but at the same time, ruining their kid's freedom. I would give the example of Kimiyoshi Natsumi here, but I don't know if many of you guys know about her. But yeah, so, you know, you make it so that you force these people into making it, you force these people into getting the best results. You don't really care about their mental health much, and you get them into a really quite disciplined attitude. You don't really care about how happy they are. And it's kind of like this with the marriage. They have the same principles behind them, if you ask me. Yeah, my god, that must be unpleasant. I would never like to invite some sort of random ass teacher into my room. They'd probably be disappointed at how shit my room is. It's really not well kept. It's not cleaned, it's not tidied. Well, it is cleaned, but it's not tidied. I have so much mess in my room. I just genuinely can't believe that, though. I mean, my god, these people properly got ripped off. But to be fair, I mean, that shows proper professionalism if you can actually charge that much for your service. Yeah, then on the Sundays and Mondays that followed, I didn't have any extra school and could finally rest. 2 out of 7 days! How ironic. Have those extra classes from Tuesday until Saturday held me down all this time? Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, but no, I do see this. This is the thing, like, you know, parents think that, you know, a son can't grow without their support, so as a result of that, they just force it, so much so that they can't escape their support, really. You know, I really am like Sun Wukong. I see that, yeah. God, her face.
私の手のひらから逃れたいなんて思い上がりは、お釈迦様にご行山で潰してもらうといいわ。
Well, this is all very metaphorical. Maybe he can. Well, if you're arrogant enough to think that you can escape from the palm of my hand, you'll be crossed by Buddha's 5 mountains. Sun Wukong, who wanted to become a... Oh, he wanted to become a god, right? So he needed to, you know, get off the, you know, the barrier that was presented by Buddha's hand, actually making it so that, you know, Buddha's insurmountably big hand. Yeah. Sun Wukong, who wanted to become a god, was crushed by the 5 mountains of fire, water, wood, metal, and earth. Oh, right, and sealed away. Yeah, those are the 5 elements that days of the week, Tuesday through Saturday, are named after in Japanese. Is it actually? Really? Right, so we have Getsuyobi, that's Monday, Kaiyobi, which is fire, Suiyobi, which is Wednesday, water, Mokuyobi, which is tree, so I suppose you could say wood, and then Kinyobi, which I suppose you could say metal, and then Blimmin' Doyobi, which I suppose, yeah, earth, yeah, it is earth, yeah. That's actually really quite interesting. That surprises me. So what about, you know, Nichiyobi and Getsuyobi? You know, Nichiyobi is Sunday, so I suppose, I do wonder where that comes from. I mean, obviously Nichi is day, but and then Getsu is moon, but that also means month as well, or Gatsu means month, but same kanji. Yeah, these are the 5 elements that the days of the week, Tuesday through Sunday, are named after in Japanese. Only now that George, who had always admired Sun Wukong, realised this greatest of irony. Yeah, isn't it really quite funny? You've always admired somebody who has actually been able to get out of their, you know, their restrictions, really. So, you know, you need to become like them now. Yeah, just like Sun Wukong, you need to reflect upon and be punished for your arrogance. What is he going to have to go through, though? That's the scary thing. If you can show that you're willing to reform yourself, I'll release you. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that's not being released, it's brainwashing. Yeah, that is actually really quite interesting that, you know, Evar Beatrice won't make it so that George is not tormented unless he gives in to, you know, his mother's values. Yeah, that's not being released, it's brainwashing. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, yeah. But the only thing is, this is the genuine worst thing. How are you going to get past this? I don't really think you can use your... I don't think you can evade it.
何も考えなくていいの。
There's no need to think about anything.
ママに全て任せちゃえば。
Why not leave everything to Ma? I love that, you know, FR Beatrice is, you know, obviously this is the bad side of FR's emotions. Isn't it just really quite ironic to think that, you know, Mama, and yet this person looks like he's George's age. I think FR Beatrice at the very most, she looks maybe 17, 18? Yeah, there's no need to think about anything. Why not just leave everything to Mama?
私があなたの全てを決めてあげる。
I'll decide everything for you.
それがあなたにとって一番素晴らしい人生なのよ。
Jesus Christ. That's the best kind of life for you. Oh my god! Yeah, he is getting properly screwed over by those, you know, spider web-like threads. I found the most intellectual woman in the world, willing to devote herself to you entirely. Yeah, but the only thing is it doesn't matter. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is interesting. I kind of get the impression that FR Beatrice feels as if... Sorry, FR feels as if, you know, George can't do anything... I don't know, maybe it's just like some sort of... Maybe another emotion. It's just the, you know, dread of having George actually be separated from his parents, really. Maybe that's what part of this is. You know, I found the most intellectual woman in the world, willing to devote herself to you entirely. I'll arrange for all of your successes and even prepare the roads leading... Jesus Christ. That's just an ideal, it's nonsense. And so is this. This is complete nonsense as well. But the only thing is, obviously, it's just... You know. Yeah, and eventually you'll be chosen for the highest honor in the Ushidomiya family, the position as successor to the headship. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what a life entirely crafted by your desires. That only then will you begin your true life. A first step. Yeah, but the only thing is, it's either giving in to this temptation, you know, going the easy way out, or suffering immense hardship to actually be able to get out of it, really. A first step. What? Don't make me laugh. You haven't even been born yet. This isn't my web that you're caught in. Says the person that's literally shorter than George, but okay, let's just forget about you're still in my caring, nurturing... Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Yeah, you're still in my room, and yet I'm willing to fucking torture you. Brilliant, man. Yeah, makes good logic. George was slammed against the ground over and over. Oh, yeah, it was a heartless atrocity. Unlike anything one would expect a blood-related sound. Oh, seriously, yeah. However, in Eva's eyes... yeah, that's the horrible thing. Yeah, perhaps even this was a sign for a love for a precious son. It really is just love that goes way, way too far. Because you force somebody and then you make it so that they endure such immense hardship to, you know, be able to, you know, feel like you don't want to endure the pain anymore. So as a result, you're going to change your values. I don't think George is going to give up, though. He cannot give up. No way. This human-shaped lump of flesh wrapped in the red bag. Jesus Christ. Yeah, isn't it just interesting that he is so powerless and has so little control that he is basically reduced to flesh? Yeah, the human-shaped lump of flesh wrapped in the red bag was slammed over and over, then thrown high into the air. Yeah, where it was caught in a massive spiderweb in the sky. Still covered with fresh... Shit. Ow. God, I don't even want to imagine how painful that is. Yeah. This is a complete lie, by the way. I bet you anything. Bet you anything. Isn't it interesting to, so like this task is basically to break away from your parents' womb yourself, to actually break away, well, metaphorical one obviously, but you know, to break away from the restrictions they impose and, you know, to begin your own life that isn't controlled by somebody who ironically wants the best for you but doesn't really give you the best in terms of results. It's just a total taking out of her rage. God, yeah. Yeah. While he hung there, was so crucified. George didn't even... God, that must hurt so ridiculously much. I just genuinely can't imagine. Even if he had some power to resist remaining to him. Yeah, he can't resist. No way. Yeah. The red web pinning him there would have held that even in check. Even that in check. Fair, yeah. The rain would have been falling non-stop since the beginning. Quietly tormented and pitied your... Oh my god, yeah, understandable, because obviously you may have wounds that could be opened up and then rain going in them. That must be painful. Be sealed by the fire mountains and cool your head. I'm not telling you to stop because I think Shannon-chan's a bad kid, okay? She's a great girl, the one who gave you the chance you needed to grow up. Yeah. However, an ill-considered engagement is a different matter entirely. The issue has nothing to do with some failing on her part. Understand that. I do wonder what George is actually going to do though, genuinely. Blame the problem, not the peer. Oh yeah, that is interesting, yeah. It's like hate the crime, not the person that has actually done it. Right. Yeah, that's another British saying. I really did raise you to be a smart kid. No, I am raising you. I am raising you, that's hilarious. You're still inside me, right? You need to be nurtured a little longer. Jesus Christ. No, but the only thing is, this is the worst thing. I think, you know, F.R. Beatrice having the torture with the red spider webs, I think it really metaphorically and brilliantly shows the fact that, you know, there is no getting out of this. No matter what happens, your mother is always superior and always has decision. But at the same time, I mean, I do wonder if you could, like, with your mother, just completely shun her away and completely deny her existence. Well, yeah, you could do that with F.R. Beatrice, I suppose, because she is an illusion. But still. I don't know, like, deny her existence as your mother and then, you know, start out your own life and go into Sayor's family. Yeah, I do see that. The spiderweb released George reluctantly. Yeah, reluctantly. Interesting, that. Yeah. Yeah, no. Yeah, isn't it really quite interesting? I like how the cruelty of the spiderweb, you know, it just really represents the cruelty of the situation, really. Yeah, then it threw him to the ground beneath the cloudy sky. Hmm. Thank you, Mother. It was all George could do to get up on his hands and knees. Though he wiped the mud away and stood his ground, he still couldn't raise his head? Everything you've done so far, yeah, it was for his intent, really. You've done. Yeah, it was for me, wasn't it? Thank you. Thanks for everything. I feel like there is just going to be such a change soon. That's right. You must hate me right now. But one day you'll thank me. Nah. No way. I'm sure you'll understand how much I loved you. Yeah, even though you've literally just tortured your son. But okay. Being bound by all those extra classes from Tuesday until Saturday. I don't disagree, yeah. Yeah, that's a sign of how hard you worked to raise me to be an excellent man. I mean, it is a sign, understandably, but at the same time, I mean, just having that much of a controlled and disciplined life, I mean, you know, it could either be a sign of a really good parent or a really, really bad one. That's another British phrase. Yeah, to cover a child in blessings is the greatest education of all. That is interesting. I mean, I don't really think necessarily it applies to this, but I do see that. Yeah, because obviously if you're covered in good things and if you're covered in a good environment, a good home, you know, you can have the ability to fully make use of your education. Obviously a good mindset as well. You know, you've got to have good influences for a good mindset to be possible. Thank you. I love this. In return, I'll give you a British saying. These people really, really like British sayings. My God. What's that? Even if you strike all the trees in the forest once with an axe, you will not fell a single tree. Oh, that is actually really interesting. So no matter how hard you try, George will never resist. Is that what it is? You could try to make it so that every single guard he has is, you know, just, you know, severed really. But at the same time, like, you know, it wouldn't have any results. Is that what he's saying? And what does that mean? Oh boy, this is where shit changes. Maybe this one is clearer. Oh, I see that. Yeah, to spend too much time in studies is sloth. That is actually a really quite surprising saying. I mean, this guy knows so many sayings, and you know that this person has done too much literature if he can have a saying for every single situation. I mean, that is absurd. But that is interesting. Yeah, I don't disagree, because of the fact that to spend too much time in studying means you never get to make the most of the life you should be living. Oh, right, Francis Bacon, he's the artist. We actually did him at school. Yeah, but I do see that, yeah. The man drenched in mud and blood. Oh my god, yeah, he's still not denying it whatsoever. Yeah, straightened his crooked glasses. Yeah, exactly. This is a fight to the death. You cannot stop. Yeah, and slowly stood up. Though he was covered in filth, his appearance had a divine quality to it. Oh yeah, that's actually quite cool. Something that could only appear on a self-controlled man. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, not one who had merely been dozing in his mother's... Oh my god, amniotic fluid. Oh yeah, understandable, yeah. He would have never been able to do this if it wasn't for Sayo. I cannot count the number of things I've learned from Sayo. She taught me courage and chivalry. That's brilliant. God. God, the amount he must have changed from Shannon, it's just absurd. Yeah, how to be ambitious and witty and humorous. And a little stylish. It's ironic. Oh yeah, it's because of Shannon. Yeah, almost all the things you say are so wonderful about me. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, it didn't come from you at all. Then again, to be fair, I think George definitely had to be raised. A lot of the stuff regarding George's upbringing, I think maybe I suppose it helped him to be a kind person, because even before Shannon was there, he was still trying to be a kind person. I mean, I get that he was cowardly, but at the same time, he was still a kind person. If he didn't have that kindness, then he wouldn't have been able to learn anything from Shannon at all. But still, though, still. I love that, yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. Oh my god, yeah, that must be so horrible for her to learn. George. Are you? Still? Are you still? God. Time to get back in mother's womb. I'll nurture you in a sea of warmth once more. Yeah, but the only thing is, to be nurtured in a sea of warmth is also to be blind to the world you should be living in. Oh my god! Yeah, I do wonder what's actually... Oh shit. What? You don't have a very good definition of warmth? As if I howled, a bright red spiderweb appeared at George's feet once more and tried to scoop him up into the air again. However, at that instant... No way, what? What? A powerful magic circle could be seen in the area surrounding George for just a moment. It's a proper strength of conviction. Faster than he could be scooped up by the spiderweb, George jumped. That's ridiculous. And with a sharp kick of the heel and a magnificent forward flip, God, he cut the shackles of the spiderweb apart. Yeah, that's absurd. Isn't that interesting? He's totally... Oh, she is dumbfounded. She is just totally breaking out of her mother's restrictions. Brilliant. Good for him. Yeah, that smooth movement proved that he had possessed the power to escape from those shackles all along. Yes, definitely, yeah. He had willingly allowed himself to be bound by that web. That's actually really interesting. Maybe he has willingly done it so that, you know, Eva Beatrice could just, you know, Eva could just feel as if she was in a stage of comfort, but then George just entirely tears it apart, so as a result the opponent is a little bit weaker. That's what I'm thinking. Oh, I love that, yeah. Everything I owe you for what you've done. Oh yeah, fair, yeah. I'll pay back now. Ah, I like that. I'll pay back now with pain. Fair. God, isn't it just really quite interesting to think of the value of what Eva has done? You know, too much studying equals sloth. Too little, you know, and so does too little in terms of experiences in life. Because though what was being done for him was all for his own benefit, you know, it's something that has also destroyed his, you know, it's just really decreased the amount of times he should have had socializing and having fun as a child. Everything I owe for what you've done, I'll pay back now with pain. Thanks to that, I'll finally be able to leave the nest for good. Yeah. You really do need these every now and then. No, but to be fair, I suppose George will probably have a lot less in terms of fights with Eva because, you know, he's just the perfect kid. Yeah, fights between parents and kids.
George!
George, why must you disobey me so completely? And with a little girl like that? A little girl like that? What? It looks like... Yeah, you really do need to let go, mother. Maybe it's about time. Ooh. Time for what? Oh my god. Yeah, she definitely doesn't look happy. Isn't that ironic? It's about time. Oh, it's a quote. Oh yeah, brilliant. Time to start fighting back. Oh yes! We got... Oh, fucking love this theme. Yeah, the Casino Spider-Verse that Eva shot out in defense of all two stuff. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Isn't it interesting to think that when he is totally psyched up, he can escape these ridiculous restrictions. Why did I say traditions, almost? George weaved through them in one instant. And the next... He was right before our eyes. What in the name of George being a Toho player? Man can dodge anything. Baby rage. Oh my god, right. Oh, a purple sword. Oh, I love that CG. Eva jumped out of the way, a kick that would have knocked her feet out from under her. God, isn't it just really quite ironic to think that, you know, this is just a fight? To think that, you know, he has to fight the evil witch and the evil manifestation of Eva's emotions to make it so that, you know, when these evil emotions are fought, there will be no doubt whatsoever. I'm assuming that's how you metaphorically tie this, because obviously I don't think George would want to fight his mother ever like this. But yeah, it makes sense if, you know, this is like this. Right, so Eva jumped out of the way with a... Eva jumped out of the way of a kick that would have knocked her feet out from under her. Ooh. Then blocked the second half of George's double roundhouse with a high kick of her own. Yeah, interesting. Oh god, yeah, definitely. Isn't that interesting to think that, you know, even though Eva's parenting has actually made it so that, you know, George has had some sort of, you know, entry into the good world, you know, the world of becoming a moral adult, you know, it's all down to Shannon. Shannon has done infinitely more than they have. It's quite surprising. I guess there's one thing I can thank you for teaching me. Yeah. But that is actually a good question. Yeah. Oh, what day of the week was that? God. Yeah, isn't it really quite interesting that, you know, the training has definitely been proven to be beneficial. Wow. Is the martial arts training we focused on during long breaks from school? God. You can't even have free... You're not even free of training within, you know, your... That laugh, my god. Yeah, I'm glad, George, to hear that you're grateful for at least one thing. Yeah, and totally using it here as well. Your mother is most happy. Jesus Christ, that laugh. I don't think I've ever heard a more deranged laugh, genuinely. Eva's swift feet flash like lightning. Low. Yeah, she is really, really good. It's interesting that all of Evar's skills are reflected in Evar Beatrice. Mid-level attack. Oh my god. God, it definitely looks like action is occurring as George's head fell forward. Oh, fuck. She caught it in both hands as though she was about to smash it against the ground. Oh, God, that's deadly. Properly high reaction time. My god. It was then... Oh, my god. That's problematic. It was then met with Evar's knee as it rose like a bolt of lightning from the... Ugh! Jesus. That could be really bad, though. He may be really injured. Fuck. You should have learned Muay Thai as well. It would have been more fun to have learned it with you. God, I can't imagine how much that hurt. How much that must have hurt, though. I mean, this is the scary thing about George, though. I mean, what happens if his glasses are actually impaired? Because the thing is, he may have... I don't really know if he wears glasses because his eyesight is a little bit bad, or if it's really bad. If it's really bad and he has his glasses broken, then that could potentially be, like, you know, absurd disadvantage. To be honest, when Gap fought George, I'm actually quite surprised that she didn't go for the glasses. I thought... That's actually a really stupid move. But to be fair, Gab wanted to prolong the fight as long as possible because of the fact that she wanted to make, you know, George able to fall into a trap that Jessica would have also fallen into. You're right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I never had more fun than when I was learning martial arts with you. I suppose so. Yeah, it's just interesting that some of the things that, you know, Evar would have imposed on George, you know, obviously really quite negative, but, you know, there are some things that parents would have imposed on kids and they would have liked as well. Yeah, then right now is when we get to have the most fun. Yeah. Yeah, isn't it ironic to think that, you know, they just have... Everything is so twisted here that the most fun they can have is when, you know, they're like this. You know, completely violently taking it out on each other. Then right now is when we get to have the most fun. Isn't it fun, George? Isn't it? Ooh. Jesus Christ. I can just imagine, like, total fight involving absurd martial art movements. It is fun to play with your son like this. Is it fun to play with your son like this, mother? Yes, it is. You're my precious son, and I'll love you lots and lots inside my womb. I even love it when you kick in there. What, when you provide opposition? Yeah, understood. You provide opposition, but at the same time, because of the fact that Eva has so much superiority, nothing can be happening. Oh, I like that. But this gaze coming from outside of your belly. And isn't it quite ironic that, you know, get the belly and then boom. That will definitely piss her off. Oh, yeah, good one. Yeah, George's knee buried itself into Eva's abdomen. Good. Yeah. An instant before she felt the pain of that fierce attack, Eva watched her son's kick with a proud smile. And then vomited. God, that must have been so absurdly powerful. Yeah. You're getting on in years, mother. Seriously. Maybe it's about time you held back on wearing childish clothes like that. I love that she's literally speaking like her mother, and yet she is kind of just wearing clothes of somebody, like, you know, that from a fairy tale. I mean, obviously this isn't the real Eva, but still, you see what I mean. God, this is just absurd. A total showdown to see whether you are actually capable of escaping the massive hand that controls you. Or the womb, or whatever. There's so many good analogies here. Like, seriously, I think some of my favourite analogies have came from this little part we've read here. Jesus Christ. I don't even want to imagine how hard that kick was. Holy fuck. Her chin's still covered in vomit. Eva looked up at George in twisted anguish. She could see how pathetic her face was by... Oh yeah, her reflection in his skull. That must be hilarious. God. Both you and I don't disagree. Yeah. Especially Eva as well, because of the fact that if she constantly has the desire to become the head, it's just going to lead to more and more unhealthy things happening and, you know, getting into more trouble, honestly. Yeah, both you and I need to leave our childhood days behind. Yeah. Oh my god. Isn't it just interesting, you know, how totally George has power upon Eva in every single respect. Oh my god, so what's happened here? Are they going to leave their childhood days behind? Who knows? This fierce lightning and rain. My time freeze! Oh, yep. A proper sense of brutality, because that shoe is coming to probably your, I don't know, face, heart, or just body in general, really. George's beautiful kick has stopped an inch from Eva's chest. However, the power of the red magic circle surrounding George... Yeah, that is actually really interesting, that magic circle. Ooh, wait, hang on a second. I forgot about that. That's, ooh, which one? Is it Zepar's power? I think it is. Fuck! It's Furfur's power. Yeah. Oh, that is actually really, really interesting because, you know, it does make sense as to why, you know, their love was actually able to be overcame. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, all of the barriers, this ridiculous barrier of endless torture that, you know, being locked inside your mother's restrictions would actually give is just completely broken. It's brilliant. However, the power of the red magic circle surrounding George had already pierced Eva's body. God. Though he had stopped moving without... He'd stopped without hitting her. Blood poured out of Eva's back. No wound had been left on her chest. Her back out of everything. That is actually really quite surprising. But her heart had been punched through. No, you have got to be kidding me. Don't tell me the result of winning this trial was your mother dying. Oh my god. Eva slumped backwards and landed in a puddle with a splash. Oh my god. There were no convulsions. Is this Eva dying or is it Eva Beatrice dying? There were no convulsions. Her life had been ended without leaving her even an instant to writhe about in pain. Yeah, I know you're somewhere out there. That is interesting. How the genuine fuck... That does actually explain how Eva has actually disappeared if you look into magic. But what the fuck? How does he know of Gap? But that's really interesting. I do wonder if he has some sort of knowledge that has either been built in because of Battler, or maybe he has retained some of his memories from the 4th game. But that's so surprising though. How does he know of Gap? I know you're somewhere over there, Gap. As he straightened his glasses, George spoke to the rose thicket behind him. That's ridiculous. Then a pitch black hole opened in the air there, and Gap jumped out. Impressive. Oh, I know it is absurd, yeah. Yeah. Oh, that is actually really interesting. So, before her ascension, maybe that's indicative of the fact that Eva Beatrice would have got the epitaph in this game. Who knows? Even considering that it was before her ascension, I can't believe you managed to defeat Eva Beatrice. I know it's absurd, but yeah. Isn't it really interesting to think that Eva Beatrice is just an embodiment of emotions and dark emotions? It doesn't really matter who she is. It doesn't matter, like, you know, who she represents. She just represents somebody. She is just the metaphorical device. If you defeat those emotions, if you actually have the courage to rise against ridiculous restrictions, then of course you can get there. Oh, this is so cool. I thought you'd be there.
余計なちょっかいを出さなくて
Oh yeah, that is understandable. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for not interfering. It's a proper strength of his and his ability only. Oh yeah, yeah. That actually makes sense. Wait, wait. No, I completely forgot. Gab was probably met in the you know, the contract between you know, Beatrice and, you know, Verfa, Zepar, and, you know, all of those people that connecting the bridge actually made you know, able to happen. Thanks for not interfering. I'm glad we were able to keep it between mother and son. Yeah, fair. But of course, I wasn't here. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that shows proper power. My
どっ
god.
ちでもいいさ
It doesn't matter either
君
way.
にお願いがある
I have something to ask of you. I love that you just... I love that there is just something so big that has been said here. You know, so absurdly indicative of his ridiculous strength to be able to actually rise up against restrictions that have been holding him, you know, in place for the entirety of his life. I mean, it was always happening. He was aspiring to rebel against them, but at the same time, there is a difference between aspiring to do something and actually doing something. Is there a reason I should listen?
聞いてくれないのかい
Ooh, you refuse to listen. With his back still facing her, George reset his glasses. Oh yeah, the threat in his voice held the solemn presence of a king who could control demons. Yeah, that's interesting. That presence made Gap gulp. And she licked her lips before bowing respectfully to his back. I like hot guys. Right. But I like monarchs even. Oh god. Your wish is my command, oh demon king.
後ろ宮家の当主に憧れその夢と妄執に
Oh, that's interesting.
ふさわしい場所に安置してほしい
Yeah, isn't it really quite interesting to think that, you know, obviously I think that George hasn't killed Eva, but at the same time Eva Beatrice has died. You know, I think this metaphorically says, either Eva has been killed by George and everything changes, or maybe, either Eva has been killed by George, or it could be likely that all of her dark emotions, all of the restrictions, and all of the, you know, feelings that would have been imposed on George because of the fact that she is a controlling mother. You know, all of those previous emotions may have been cleared. So this could be metaphorically symbolising a death of emotions. I'm not going to say anything until I see proof, though. I like hot guys, but I like monarchs even more. Well, Gap always making sure to give us info. Gap is probably going on Tinder saying, if you're a monarch, hit me up. I like that, yeah. I want you to lay her body to rest in a place fitting for a woman who admired the head of the Ushinomiya family and who lived her life with the misguided dreams of that person. Yeah, isn't that horrible to think that it's just so obvious that, you know, she has actually done that, but I don't disagree whatsoever. Yeah, and who had lived her life with the misguided dreams of that position. So in Kinzo's study? No. Ooh, the VIP room will do fine.
屋敷の2階のあの開かずの貴賓室
That never-open VIP room on the second floor of the mansion. Ah, that room. God, isn't it absurd to think that if you actually defeat somebody with as much power as Eva Beatrice, you deserve to have the command of demons? It's ridiculous. Sorry, other way around. To be able to command demons. Yeah, I wish you Madashe. Gap approached Eva's corpse and lightly tapped the ground with her right heel. When she did, a large hole opened up, swallowed both Gap and the corpse, and closed. After a while, a small hole opened in the air, and the staff Eva always carried, marked with the one-winged eel that symbolised the Ushinomiya family's leader, was spat out into a puddle. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because the corpse would no longer have any use for it. Wonder what he's going to do with this. George slowly approached that staff. and step down hard on the tip. Oh, yeah, just totally breaking it. When he did, the staff spun violently into the air. Jesus Christ, after passing by the blue moon that honoured the Demon King. Oh. Fair enough. Yeah, it flew into George's outstretched hand. That's actually really quite interesting. So you defeat FR Beatrice, and then you can have the staff that has actually been using her. Does that actually indicate that George has magical power now? The instant he grasped it, another fierce lightning bolt landed nearby. And by the time the flash disappeared, the staff he held had become a spray of gold butterflies and vanished. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, I see that. Yeah, it was as I... No, but it is really quite interesting to think that, you know, the embodiment of Evar's bad emotions, in this case, it's being denied by George because of the fact that, you know, he wants to make his own future happen. So maybe you could think that that denial is actually causing the staff not to be able to have any function and, you know, means of being able to exist. Interesting. Ooh. Angian Feathering? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so now it's actually it's a declaration of the fact that he has actually prevailed. But the only thing that kind of scares me is these two other people. I don't know about Beatrice, but I feel like Jessica is, judging by her performance in episode 4, she has potential to do anything she can for Conan. What if she prevails as well? Is it going to be a battle between those two? That would be really exciting, my god. And now I've finished my part. Yeah, I'll let someone else have a turn. Ooh, I can't believe. Oh, that is really interesting. You attacked your own mother. Yeah, so I think that does confirm it. I'm not even joking. I think he's genuinely killed his own mother in this really absurd fight. Jesus Christ. It's the person who loves you first in this world. God, how is he going to justify this? God. And the last one you have to separate yourself from. That is awful, I mean. That's unbelievable. That's what it means to leave your home. Yeah, isn't it really quite interesting to think that because of the fact that demons are on this island and no human conventions are actually applied to, you know, he literally has to kill his own mother to prove that, you know, he is not bound by her restrictions anymore and that he is his own man. I mean, how fucked up is that? That is unbelievable. I just genuinely can't believe that, firstly, you know, he is, you know, doing this act of attack. But secondly, like, he's actually alright with it and he can justify it with, you know, doing anything possible for the love of Sayo. But the only thing is, by the way, you know, using Shannon's name outside of conversation with just them. But anyway, yeah, it is interesting because that just shows It proves what he said in episode 4. He would be willing to kill his entire family if it meant he could have a love. It's just absurd how much he values it. It really, really is. Yeah, just quite literally. Just, oh my god, I wonder what she must think. Jesus Christ, I mean, she must be so touched. God, and it's just horrible to think that this level of cruelty is actually provided, you know, for a trial like this to exist. It really is. Bravo, Ushinomiya George. Yeah, no, I know. But the only thing is, this is the really bad thing. It sets a fucking high bar. What are the other people going to have to do to, you know, rival this? An excellent start. Even though it was just within the game. Even though it was just a piece. Oh, right, yeah, that makes way more sense. Yeah, but that is understandable, because I feel like if George actually wanted to, you know, if he actually killed his mother and actually justified it, then, you know, that is where things just get absurdly messed up. However, I do feel that Eva will still die. I don't know, I feel it's really likely. Even though it was just within the game, even though it was just a piece, I didn't like having to kill my mother. Oh my god, I know. Yeah, but, to be honest, I'm just really happy that Eva Beatrice was just a piece for the game, rather than, you know, a real Eva. But it does make sense when you think about it. Yeah. Yeah, definitely, yeah. However, that was the trial you set me, so I saw it through. I know it's unbelievable, yeah. Ooh, I really do wonder what these people are going to think. People. He stared at the two demons. The demons looked at each other, then showed their surprise with their now familiar, exaggerated gestures. Fair enough, yeah. Wonderful. Wasn't that splendid, Zephyr? Indeed it was, Zephyr. Yeah, I see that though, but how is it going to be rivaled though? That's my question. George-kun's determination is the real deal. It seems I've misjudged you. Please accept my apologies. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, understandable. Yeah, George chose not to go along with this theatrical conversation. Yeah, I know, yeah. He just quietly looked down upon the game board. Found the piece representing his mother, which was right next to his. Oh, yeah, that is understandable, yeah, because that is quite literally what he has done. He has risen over the challenges and the restraint that his mother has actually provided. Isn't it really quite ironic to think that this may not actually be a representation of what has actually happened? Because, you know, you could have this entire game board scenario and you could entirely prove the fact that, you know, you were willing to rise it up against your parents and their restrictions with your relationship. But at the same time, like, you know, it's doubtful whether, you know, in reality, with the real Eva, you would be able to do it. But at the same time, I mean, though it would be hard, I think it's possible because of the fact that you've shown this much courage with the piece Eva, you would be able to do it with the real one. This is the trial that Zephyr and Pfeffer had set for him. Yeah, seriously, yeah. So that the love of the pair will stand true. Offer up the life of... one person by your own hands. Wait, I'm so confused. You have got to be kidding me. So I'm just genuinely so confused. So, if Eva was a piece of the game, yet this was actually the real Eva. Oh my god. I hope that's not the case, but I think it might be likely. Yeah, that's horrible. That's unbelievable, though. My view of George and his absurd determination, I mean, it has changed so much. I mean, my god, isn't it just ironic that no human morals apply now? God. It was similar to that trial during Bertolt's games. where they were given, where they were given 3 options as a part of a test to select the next family. I just genuinely can't believe that this guy has literally killed his mother. Oh my god, I love it. Oh wait, hang on a second, I've just got to do something.
おじけづいたか？いえ、バトラさんの望むベアトリーチェはこんなことでは臆したりしません。
さあ、次は誰が試練に挑戦を？ 誰でもいい。次なる犠牲者を選び出してほしい。
誰でもいい。次なる挑戦者は名乗り出てほしい。
誰も名乗り出ないなら
僕の勝ちということだね。
そうなるわ。ならばおめでとう、後ろ宮ジョージ。
あなたとあなたの愛する人の恋の成就へ至る扉の鍵を。僕たちは今こそ授けん。
待てよ。ジェシカさん、次は私だぜ。いいぜ、やってやろう。私だってカノン君のこと半端に考えてるわけじゃねえってこと見せてやろう。
Right, okay, I'm back now. Sorry, I had some IRL shit going on. But yeah, I'm back now. Sorry, I forgot to do that. But yeah, now I'm ready. Right, as usual, this year's family conference was getting bogged down. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Everything is entirely covered in rain. Everyone had decided to cool their heads for a moment, and a short break had been agreed upon. Yeah, I don't really think that great break is going to last for long. The peace is a lie. The four siblings could say whatever they wanted. Oh yeah, that's understandable, yeah. Yeah, but Natahi and Kyrie, for example, were outsiders and found it difficult to speak freely in this sort of atmosphere. Yeah, I suppose that's understandable, because obviously you're talking about really quite important situations within the family, and, you know, if you're not talking about important things, then you just don't have the upper hand in a conversation like that, I suppose. A conference where you aren't allowed to say what you want. Oh my god, yeah, it can be tiring, even as you just sit there quietly. Yeah, no, I know, yeah. Even Kyrie couldn't help letting out a deep sigh. Yeah, because the only thing is, obviously, if you fall asleep or you visibly look tired, then obviously it's going to look really bad for the other person that, you know, you're a representative of. I.e. the... yeah, i.e. Rudolph. This is the second floor hallway of the mansion. Yeah. Rudolph had wanted to be alone during the break. Oh, right, so she had felt like doing the same. Oh god, I hope this is not just casually going to be one of the worst mistakes she has ever made. And had drifted up to the stairs to reach this place. Yeah, Kyrie's expression was less tightly controlled than when her husband was around. She wore a tired look that she didn't often show. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Yeah, she pressed her cheek against the cool window glass. Yeah, I need to regain my spirit and support my husband. I know, even if I'm not allowed to speak, yeah, that is understandable, yeah, because obviously, even if, you know, she doesn't do anything whatsoever, you know, she still needs to be a good representative of, you know, Rudolph, really, because then that will obviously give him more advantage, potentially. Yeah, that's a duty I've won. Who is it? Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh, that's not a very good thing, what? No. Oh my god. Right, for the love challenges, you actually have to sacrifice one person. Oh my god. She suddenly sensed another person, turned around to look behind her, and saw Jessica standing at the other end of the hall. Oh no. Oh my god. This is scary. Oh, it's you, Jessica-chan. Didn't you go to the guest house?
ちょっとその
Well.
本を取りに自分の部屋へ戻ってたんです
Sort of decided to head back to my room to get a book.
そう
I wonder what the book is. I see.
ゲストハウスに戻るところ
And you're on your way back to the guest house now? Yes.
はいそうです
That's right.
嫌な雨ね
I can't stand this right. Oh, yeah,
風
fair
はだ
enough,
い
yeah.
ぶ強いのかしら
Is the wind really strong? Oh yeah, it
今
probably
は
must.
比較的
Oh.
弱いみたいです
It's weak right now, relatively speaking. As Kyrie looked out of the window, Jessica watched her back. Yeah, looking agitated. This is going to be really interesting. I do wonder. Yeah, Kyrie.
ごめんよ
No.
と思ってくれ
Oh my god! She's actually going to get killed. I'm sorry, but you've only got your bad luck to. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Ah, Zephyr.
ジェシカの運命のルーレットはキリエを選んでしまったわ
Yeah, Jessica's roulette of fate has chosen Kyrie.
どうするんだいジェシカ。
What you do, Jessica?
ルーレットはキリエを選んだけど、それを拒否して再びルーレットを回すのも君の勝手さ。
Yeah, the roulette has chosen Kyrie, but you may reject that choice and spin the roulette again if you wish. Yeah, I really do
捧
wonder.
げるのは誰の命でも問わないのだから。
It doesn't matter whose life is sacrificed for this trial. Jessica wasn't like George. George willingly chose. Oh my god, I know. Yeah. Isn't it just really quite interesting to think that, you know, that is just a proper show of your determination. Yeah, George had willingly chosen Eva to be his sacrifice. To signify his separation from his old life so that he could step into a new life married to Shannon. My god, I know. Isn't it just so absurdly horrible to think that, you know, the game board Eva and the game board George, they're never going to have a mother again. And, you know, even the George outside the game board, I do wonder what's going to happen to him once, you know, everything has actually been finished. But could you imagine if Eva has died for nothing? I mean, at least she's died for something for, you know, her son to have a future. Even though it was the one that she totally rejected. But still, oh my god. However, Jessica hadn't thought of any particular target. Yeah, so she had left it up to the roulette of fate. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. Why does one have to be sacrificed though? No! Oh my god. No, please tell me I am seeing things. Oh my god. Dude, oh my god. That's not my monitor screen, is it? That isn't. Oh, shit. Oh my god, oh please. Why is the background like this though? I don't understand. No, it's got to be the background. No. No, because my screen doesn't look weird in any other thing I'm opening. Okay. That's really weird though. Why would they have a changed, broken background? Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I thought that was my monitor screen. I'm so sorry. I had the fright of my life then, genuinely. Because, you know, my life is my computer, so if I don't have my computer, then I obviously don't have anything to do. That saved me 100 and well, maybe 200 quid. There was no exaggeration. She had walked around at random, imposing a rule on herself that the first person she met would be chosen as her sacrifice. Yeah, and so the roulette of fate had brought her to Kyrie. God, that's awful. Of course, there was nothing forcing her to keep to that. Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously, the roulette of fate has chosen Kyrie as the sacrifice, but there is no obligation she has to follow it. However, Jessica didn't want to break a rule she had once. Oh my god, I know. Yeah, you've made a commitment to. Why would you break it? Oh yeah. I know. Yeah. Yeah, even though you would have thought in a demon's game there is no room for something like that. Even though she was participating in a demon's game, she still wanted to cling to one last virtue. Yeah. Right now, she could attack. Oh my god, I know, that unprotected back. Isn't it just so genuinely horrible to think that, you know, Kyrie is just, you know, having a lot of stress from the family conference, needs to obviously keep a good front. No indication whatsoever that she is going to die. Right now, she could attack that unprotected back. Yeah, but Jessica still wasn't able to fully resolve herself. Yeah, that is understandable. I mean, you are quite literally committing murder to somebody, you know, who seems so innocent and nice. And what have they done as well? And they've been nothing but kind to you, so why would you want to kill them just for a ridiculous demon's game? What is it? Oh my fucking god. Just have to endure hotter temperatures. What is it? What, I want to kill you? Do you have something to say to me? Yeah, noticing the strange distance Jessica was standing at, Kyrie turned around. Yeah, no, unprotected back. Yeah, that unprotected back was already gone. Jessica realised that her hesitation had made her lose her own first time. Exactly, yeah, couldn't agree more. She had taken on this demon's game to prove her love for Kanon. I know, but just how much do you have to dirty your own soul to actually be able to do that? It's horrible. However, seriously, would it really be okay to sell her soul to demons? No, but the only thing is if you don't, yeah, for the sake of love, that is fair enough, but the only thing is if she doesn't, then, you know, not only is she gonna die, but Kanon will as well. She had energetically consented to this demon's game, not wanting to let George, who had already taken an open-minded view of the situation, oh yeah, fair, yeah, get any more of a lead on her, but yeah, that is tricky, yeah, I mean, committing murder is one of the biggest things. Of course your heart wouldn't be ready. Yeah, her heart still wasn't ready. Maybe I shouldn't be asking you this, Aunt Kyrie. Oh my god, I wonder what's going to happen. God, this is horrible. What is it? Oh, it's rare for you to ask me questions, Jessica-chan. Yeah, god, yeah. I hope I'm capable of answering them for you. Actually, I have someone I like. Oh, really? That's wonderful. Then is it love you wanted to talk about? Yeah, I really do wonder what she's going to say. Yeah, pretty much. God, I think it's just so horrible how absurdly nice she is being here. How, you know, she is a really, really kind person. I mean, obviously we can't forget about the stuff that's happened with Kasumi, but, you know, that was in the past. This is in the present. She's such a nice and kind person, and, you know, to think what's going to happen to her, it's awful. Very well. Yeah, that's a bad promise. I'll help out if I can. Thank you very much. Actually, how are you going to explain this? Is it still one-sided? No, I guess you could just say that it's become mutual. So basically, would you mind me killing you so that the trial can happen? But, well, there's this trial for us to be joined together. A trial? Now, what could that be? Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that interesting that if Kyrie doesn't die, I really do wonder what's actually going to happen with this information. There's the two of us and another pair of lovers, and we have to fight each other. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. You mean a love triangle? Or is it a square? Sounds complicated. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. And? It's so absurdly inhumane. Yeah, only the pair who wins can be together. There's something complicated like that. In other words, that sounds awful. Oh, yeah. Couldn't agree more, yeah. I love where neither side can succeed unless they use the others as stepping stones. It's evil. It is pure evil. pure evil. Bit of oxymoronic language there.
はい
Yes.
自分たちが結ばれれば相手が破綻します
Yeah, exactly, because obviously, if you're joined together, then the other part, it's going to be at the other people's expense. They're going to have a ruined life. Well, they're not going to have a ruined life, they're going to fucking die. If we join, then they'll fall apart. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
逆もしかりです
And the same the other way around. Yeah.
質問の趣旨が大体分かったわ。
I think I see where you're going
こ
with
ういうこ
this.
とでしょ
Something like this,
人
right?
は幸せになるためにどこまで他者を踏み台にすることが許されるのか。
I see that, yeah. Yeah, how far is a person allowed to take advantage of others to find happiness, right? Yeah, I see that, yeah. And I mean, yes, Kyrie was very smart. Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, she had already guessed the question that Jessica had wanted to ask most.
戦わなければ自動的に相手が勝ってジェシカちゃんたちは負けになる。
Isn't it so ironic that she could potentially be encouraging Jessica to kill her inadvertently? If you don't fight, it automatically becomes their victory, and you will
しかし
lose.
戦って勝てば相手を破綻させることになる。
However, if you fight and win, it means they'll fall apart.
どちらも嫌な話ね。
It's nasty either. True,
No.
yeah.
聞くまでもなく答えは決まっているわ。
However, the answer is obvious.
はい
Yes. Kyrie giggle. Yeah, that's actually really quite surprising that she is so composed about this, yeah. It's brilliant that she is so composed by this, though, genuinely. If she wasn't willing to stick to her love until the end, then that would show the limits of their relationship. Yeah, that's the worst thing. And isn't it interesting to think about the relationship-related things? I don't think this is true whatsoever. It's just so controlling because of the fact that this demon's game has such of an emotional impact. Like, no, because of the fact that you don't want to kill someone for your relationship doesn't show the limits of your relationship. But obviously these people think, because of the fact that they've been brainwashed into it and they have no choice, that, you know, that is the case. I don't agree with that whatsoever. If that were the case, she should just let the other pair of lovers win. Yeah. Yeah, that's the worst thing. Like, you know, if you're not willing to kill for your love, then, you know, you should just let the other pair win. However, if this was a love she couldn't abandon, she couldn't abandon her chances at victory either. Yeah, exactly, yeah, so she had no options other than to fight. I know, yeah. Yeah. In the end, Jessica's hesitation was caused by guilt over forcing the others to split apart as a... Yeah. That is understandable, yeah, as the result of her inevitable decision.
やっぱり
Yeah, but the only thing is with this, if you don't make them fall down, you're gonna fall down yourself. It's either you or the other person, really. But it's not just you, it's the person that you're literally loving as well.
私は
I really,
甘えているでしょうか
just looking for an excuse. Interesting, yeah. God, yes.
甘えてるわ。
God, that's what you're doing.
でも自分たちが結ばれるために誰かを踏み台にするなんてそんなの 辛いです
I don't disagree, yeah. Still, that doesn't make it any easier to step over someone else for the sake of your own love. I mean, I get that you may be making excuses, maybe deliberately trying to, you know, just put the point of this down because of how obviously wrong it is. But it doesn't disguise the fact that what she is going to have to do is awful.
じゃあジェシカちゃんは恋のお相手を
In that case...
諦める
Oh, I like that, yeah. Yeah, that's totally gonna get her to change. In that case, will you give up on your lover?
それは
That's...
断言するわ
I can tell you one thing for certain.
その方が辛いわよ
Fair, yeah, doing that would be even more painful.
地獄を這うことになる
The thing is, I don't agree. I mean, I do agree actually, but I think even if she does kill, she's still going to be able to feel like this. You'll be forced to crawl through hell.
生涯ね
Yeah, for the rest of it. Fair enough, yeah. A hardness has entered Kyrie's gate. Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, it is properly brutal. I don't disagree whatsoever.
私は6歳だったから当時は何もわからなかったけれど、
I was just 6, so I don't remember much about that
遺
time.
品の中にお母さんの手記があったわ。
However, I found Mum's notebook among her belongings after she died.
それは
Ah,
日記のようなものか。
was it a diary?
どちら
Interesting.
かというと随想録ね。
It was more a collection of her. Oh my god. Yeah, Jesus Christ, for Kyrie to have something like that.
日
Wow.
記よりももっとアバウトなものよ。
It was much vaguer than a diary would have been.
亡くなってすぐにそれを見つけて読んだけど、
God, yeah. I found it and read it right after she passed away.
その意味を理解できるようになるには
Fair.
長い時間と私の成長を待たなければならなかったわ。
But I needed to wait until I'd grown for several years before I could understand it.
なるほど。
I see.
キリエの夫婦仲についての悩みが記されていたというのか。
So, did it speak of Kyrie's worries about her marriage?
あれは完全にお母さんの呪い帳よね。
Oh, God. It was practically a book of
その中身
curses.
は6歳の私がずっと漠然と感じていた疑問を次々に表解させてくれたわ。
It cleared up several questions I vaguely felt back when I was 6. When I was 6, it seemed as though my parents were very close and had no problems. And though I thought it odd that Oni-chan lived separately, even though he was in our family, oh yeah, I accepted it as the way things were.
アスムのことは知らなかったのか。
Did you not know about Asumu?
お兄ちゃんが誰もいない時に話してくれたような気がするけど、
Oh, that's
小学校前の
interesting.
私にそれが理解できるはずがない。
Fair, yeah. I think Oni-chan talked to me about her when no one else was around. But it wasn't something a kid who was... Yeah, who wasn't even in elementary school could understand. No way, no.
写真すらない相手よ。
Yeah, that really is sad. After all, I never even saw a
お
picture
母
of
さ
her.
んはアスムさんの写った写真のすべてをお兄ちゃんに送って家の中には一切残さなかったそうだから。
Yeah, Mum had sent all of the pictures of Asumu-san in them to Oni-chan, leaving none behind in the house. Yeah, that's understandable, yeah. to Angie and to Butler, who only rarely came home. Yeah, Kyrie's smile never faltered. Yeah, definitely. I think it's really, really good that Kyrie has, you know, not fallen for the trap of, you know, Rudolph's had a kid with somebody that... Wait, hang on a second. Asumu is not, Rudolph's... sorry, Asumu is not Butler's mother. Yeah, I really do wonder about the creation story of Butler. I really, really do. If she hadn't written her thoughts... Yeah, I just find it really interesting that Beatrice died in 1967. The human Beatrice. I just really wonder if there's some sort of connection. If she hadn't written her thoughts in that notebook, Angie would probably never have known them. Yeah, fair enough, actually, yeah. God, that's horrible. Yeah, God, so just one notebook that enabled you to actually understand your parent. Yeah, since his school days, Rudolph had been particularly popular with girls, a particular playboy. Oh God, yeah, be bold, over the top, yet still just a little bit gentle towards women. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, he probably kept that formula for being popular with women inside his head. In their attempts to win Rudolph's favour, several women tried various, oh God, seductive tricks. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, Rudolph probably enjoyed that part the most. God, so Kyrie must have been really lucky to actually have Rudolph. God. Rudolph probably enjoyed that part the most. Since the beginning, love had been a game to Rudolph. Yeah, I can see how that could potentially be deadly. Yeah, he never thought of it as a trial and error process to find a single life partner. He would intentionally spark jealousy between women, lap up their compliment, oh God, and revel in the harem. Right. He may be my father, but he was an awful man. No, I see that, yeah.
でもお父さんも同時に媚びへつらう女の子たちをきっと見
Yeah,
下して
isn't
もいた
that
のね。
really interesting? Yeah, isn't that really quite interesting to think that, you know, Rudolph is one of the people that, you know, he just constantly dates everybody and then he waits. Well, it's just interesting that, you know, why would you spark jealousy between your lovers, though? I just genuinely don't understand why you would actually do that. Yeah, it really just sounds, it really just does sound like a game. I do see what Angie's saying. Yeah, and that is horrible because obviously you've seen people like, for example, you know, Kyrie, who have probably been a really quite bad victim of this. And, you know, I've just seen Rudolph, for example, just completely cheating on Kyrie for Asumu. Yeah, but at the same time, Dad must have looked down on those Toadian girls.
そんな中に自分の価値観をしっかりと持ち、
Oh, yeah,
知性を見せるお母さんは目立って見えた。
No, I don't disagree, but what about Asumu, though? Mum, who was very aware of her self-worth and extremely intelligent, must have stood
そ
out.
れすらもルドルフの目を引きたいキリエの知恵かもしれぬがな。
Fair, I like that. Yeah, though even that might have been due to Kyrie's more skillful methods of catching Rudolph's gaze.
かもね。
Yeah, maybe.
お母さんはいろいろな意味で頭が良かったから。
Mum's smart in lots of ways. Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, unlike the other Ushinomiya siblings, Rudolph had strong ambitions and lofty goals. Yeah, that's really good, yeah. Oh, I thought they said unlike. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Under the motions of if you can pull it off, you're golden. And oh God. Under the mottos of if you can pull it off, you're golden. And as long as no one finds out. Oh damn. He would alternate between setting up business that were borderline swindles or illegal, then running away. Jesus Christ. I've heard that in his college years, he was already making use of that talent. Yeah, he does sound like a very talented person, but at the same time, has he used his talent for good? No. Thinking up shameless projects and cleverly making money through... Oh God, through the panic selling of party tickets. Jesus Christ, so much so that he could brag about carrying a wallet full of 110,000 yen notes. All this, that's ridiculous. God. Yeah, that is understandable. Yeah. He just has every single quality that people would actually want to, you know, go to. Yeah, many women fell for his charisma in being the man responsible for these radical projects, as well as his thick wallet and generosity. Yeah, I really do wonder what had happened with him and Basila. Yeah, it would be a lie to say that Kyrie wasn't one of them. Well, I suppose because of the fact that he's responsible for these projects. Firstly, business sense. Secondly, you know, really quite clever. Thirdly, you know, you use your situations around you for the best gain, really. And obviously, thick wallet. And generosity, even more so. However, what made Kyrie very different from the other women? Yeah, was that she could support Rudolph as a business partner. Rudolph would make a large-scale party successful, unable to hide his... Oh yeah, that's really good, yeah. Yeah, unable to hide his laughter at this massive, easy profit. The women would surround him. Among them, only Kyrie was calm and composed. Oh yeah, she could point out several ways that income and expenditure could be improved upon. I could even lay out a proposal for the next project. Interesting.
そうしてルドルフにパートナーとして次第に認められていくわけであるか。
Yeah, so Rudolph slowly began to accept her as a partner.
男子厨房に入るべからずっていうように
Just like some people say men don't belong in the kitchen.
女もまた財布に入るべからずって空気はあるわよね。
Yeah, there's also a sense that women should stay out of financial
女は
affairs.
おごられて当たり前。
Yeah, it's normal for men to foot the bill for women.
男の出す1万円札をどうやって捻出しているかは野暮だから聞かない、知らない、
Oh yeah,
興味
fair,
ない。
yeah. Yeah, and the details of how those 10,000 yen notes were scrounged up are vulgar, so they don't ask, don't know, don't care. Yeah, it's just because of the result. They don't care how it has actually been obtained. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, definitely, yeah.
キリエは金に対する価値観が男性的であったという
Yeah,
こと
no, I
だ。
see that. Yeah, because obviously a lot of the women that try to get with Rudolph, they probably only care about the fact that, you know, money is on offer. Nothing about how that money has got there, why it's there, stuff like that. So you're saying that Kyrie viewed money from a man's perspective. Rudolph noted a true treasure in this part of Kyrie. He knew exactly how much hard work it took to get just one of those 10,000 yen notes. So somewhere inside him, he had looked down upon these extravagant women who, oh yeah, who never even considered the efforts he had undertaken. Yes, I agree. Of all of them, only Kyrie had possessed the same sharp financial intuition as Rudolph. Yeah, I see that. That's a really good idea. Yeah, every time he thought of a new financial plan, he would talk to Kyrie about it, work out the kinks, and make it succeed. In this way, Kyrie steadily worked her way up until she was the number one of Rudolph's large group of followers. I like that, yeah. Somebody so popular that
お
it's
母さんだ
like
って女。
blooming hierarchy. But Mum was still a woman.
他の女たちにちやほやされてるお
Oh
父さんを
no,
見て
that must have been hard.
心が安らいでたかどうかは疑わしい。
But Mom was still a woman. I doubt she enjoyed seeing Dad pampered by all those other girls.
ナンバーワンよりオンリーワンの方が良いというもの。
Oh, I see that, yeah. Yeah, so she would rather have been his only one rather than instead of his number one. Yeah.
そういうこと。
Yeah.
お母さんはお父さんの右腕として活躍しながらも、その陰では狡
Oh
猾に
yeah, I like that.
他の女性を切り離していったわ。
Though she served as Dad's right hand. Oh, I like that even more. Yeah, she slightly got rid of the other women in
お
the
母さ
shadows.
んの恋の成就はもはや時間の問題だった。
It was only a matter of time before Mum would succeed in her love. Yeah, no, I don't
アスム
disagree.
はいつからいた
But yeah, that is a really good question. Yeah, when did Asumu come into the picture?
ルドルフさんの取り巻きの一人よ。
Oh, that's actually really quite interesting. So Kyrie is talking about this to Jessica. Maybe it's something that she has actually regret not having done. Maybe, like, you know, sacrificing everything for her love. Maybe Asumu, because of the fact that, you know, she had to have 18 years of being separated. Or just jealousy and envy. You know, Asumu. Maybe it's just because of the fact that Asumu, having had a relationship with Rudolph, proves this. I don't know. Oh, I like that, yeah. She's one of Rudolph's drinking.
取り巻いてさえいなかったわ。
No, not even that.
ただのファンの一人だったわ。
She was just one of his fans. So how did she
話し
graduate,
た
as
こ
it
と
were?
はあるんですか？
Did you ever talk with her?
もちろん。
Of course.
私は彼女のことをよく知ってるわ。
Oh, I knew her
ル
well.
ドルフさんがアスムさんの名前さえ知らなかった一番最初からね。
That's interesting. Ever since the very beginning, before Rudolph-san even knew her name.
あの子もきっと頭のいい子だったの。
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you rule somebody over, like, Rudolph, then of course you've got to be intelligent. I'm sure she was quite intelligent
狡
herself.
猾だった
And cunning.
わ。私は頭の良さで目立とうとしたけど、彼女は全
I
くその
see.
逆で目立とうとした。
I tried to use my intelligence to stick out, but she did it in exactly the opposite way.
頭の悪さで？
By being stupid. How though,
記号
genuinely?
力の書き立て方がうまいって意味よ。
I mean, she was good at triggering his protective instincts. I could see how somebody like Kyrie would be totally pissed off by somebody like this.
こびてイチャついてくる女たちの中で、
Out of all the girls who came to flatter and flirt with him,
彼女の仕草の一つ一つが
oh
派手な女
god.
たちに触傷を起こしていたルドルフさんには目立って見えたのよ。
Only she stood out with every action she made, unlike the flashy girls Rudolph-san had tired of. Kyrie still acknowledges the mistake she made in letting Asumu and Rudolph get in. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah, because if that hadn't been the case, then, you know, they would have had a happy family with, you know, Basila and Angie, and they would have been able to raise the same person, really. Yeah, Kyrie had thought that taking the role of Rudolph's business partner meant she would have him all to herself. Yeah, fair actually, yeah. That might have been due to her pride. And it might have been due to her arrogance, as she tried to eliminate the relationships between all the other girls and Rudolph. Perhaps she sometimes tried too hard as a business partner, putting too much pressure on him, regardless of the fact that it was justified. Yeah, no, I see this because obviously if you're in... Oh no, I do see this though. I mean, even though they have a relationship, this is the worst thing though. I mean, if they actually had an official relationship, I can't really tell. If it was an official relationship and Rudolph had cheated on Asumu, then that's horrible. It's just as if, you know, women are, because of the fact that there are so many that are constantly, you know, going towards you, they're just your playthings. Like, you cannot have that. Bit by bit, Rudolph had started to need a woman who could stay quiet and soothe him. Yeah, that's really bad, because obviously that would be perfect for Asumu to come in. Yeah, without making him think about anything complicated. That woman was Asumu.
私は
Yeah.
冷酷で知的、
I'm ruthless and intellectual.
合理的で経済的。
Yeah, rational and economical.
カルネアデスの船板のような状況があったら、躊躇なく相手を蹴落とすわ。
In a plank of car needs situation, I would push the other person off without hesitation. Yeah, I see that, yeah.
あの人にはふさわしいと思っていたから。
No, I don't disagree. Yeah, I thought that was the kind of pass suitable for him. However, though that ruthlessness had made her reliable on the business side of things, it might have disturbed Rudolph deeply outside of business. At some point, though Rudolph still acknowledged Kyrie's skill, yeah, he began to yearn for a quiet, warm acceptance. Yes, Asumu had satisfied all of these conditions. She would never talk about anything complicated. Oh, I see. Even if he did, she would just shake her head to say she didn't know. Oh god, yeah. Proper attempt at winning him over. I see that, yeah. However, she would care more for him physically than anyone else, quietly putting a blanket on him and staying by his side until morning.
確かに私はビジネスのパートナーの座を手に入れた。
Of his business
しか
partner.
しいつしか
Before I knew it. Yeah, only
ル
a
ドル
business
フさん
partner.
は心を癒してくれるメンタルのパートナーが必要になっていた。
Yeah, Rudolph-san had grown a need for a mental partner, someone who could heal his heart.
私は愚かしくも知的を自称しながらそれに
No, I
気づけずに
see. Yeah, though I foolishly claimed to be the intellectual one, I never noticed.
それで
Yeah, that's the thing that really sucks about claiming to be intellectual, because if you make a mistake, you are going to look infinitely more stupid. And then
ルドルフおじさんは
Uncle Rudolph
アスムおばさんと結婚を
married Aunt Asumu. Oh god, that must have been horrible. Yeah, yes, that's
取られ
right.
た。
Yeah, that's bad. She stole him away by sleeping with him. God, I feel bad. That must be horrible, though. And this is the really, really bad thing about relationships. Like, you must be so convinced at the fact that you finally had, you know, you finally found a partner, you finally won somebody over who's very hard to win over, you've succeeded in all of your endeavours, but at the same time, somebody else who's not nearly as intellectual, somebody who's not nearly as, you know, technical or has nearly as many good life skills has, you know, been able to win him over from you. It must just be so insulting. Yeah, that is interesting. That's horrible, though. Yeah, just totally
たくさん
enticing
の女を
somebody
はべ
with...
らしていたもの。
Oh, God, he had slept with a lot of women.
今さらどこの女と遊んだって情を移すような人じゃない。
Yeah, that is actually really quite surprising that even though this is the case, Asumu has somehow managed to pull him over. How? By that point, he wasn't the kind of guy to let his emotions be captured by a woman just because he slept with her.
それにあの人にとって女なんて遊びでしかなかったもの。
After all, sleeping with women was just a game
だ
to
から
him.
こそ私は体以外を武器に自分の存在を示している。
Yeah, that is understandable. Yeah, that's why I use something other than my body to attract his attention. Yeah, not the body, intellect. Yeah. Or is this going to be different to what we know? Oh, never mind.
慢心だな。
What pride?
女として。
Oh my god, I know. Yeah.
間もなく2人は解任するわ。
Before long, they were both
アスム
pregnant.
さんはそれをすぐにお父さんに打ち明けたけど、
Oh,
お
that's interesting.
母さんは逆だった。
God, that is so tricky because obviously he's fucked both of them. And as a result of that, they've both had kids. I do wonder what happened with Kyrie's kid, though. No, I mean, Kyrie's kid, that could potentially be Basila. What happened with Asumu's kid, though? Who was that person? God, that's horrible, though. A total player with, I'm assuming, a real lack of regard for the feelings of people. It's just what he wants, not, you know, he would rather look for, you know, women that meet his own desires rather than have any other, rather than, you know, meeting the desires of the people he's actually having a relationship with, really. Before long, they were both pregnant. Asumu-san told Dad about it right away, but Mum did the opposite.
身
That's
重になる
interesting.
ことがビジネスパートナーの座を揺るがすことになりかねない
Oh,
と
yeah, that is
恐れた
fair, yeah. So she was afraid that the pregnancy would threaten her position as his business partner.
当時のお母さんは食が細くて体調不良とか当たり前だったみたい。
Apparently, Mum didn't eat much of the time, so her period was often
だから
irregular.
解任に気づくのも随分遅れた。
Oh. Oh, that's awful. Because of that, it took a really long time before she realised she was pregnant.
気づいたのは
God, when did she notice?
アスムさんとお父さんが電撃入籍をしてからよ。
Oh, that is the worst. It was after Asumu-san suddenly moved into Dad's family register. Maybe Batola was actually Kiri's
お
child.
母さんはその後に妊娠を知ってアスムさんやお父さんを揺さぶろうと随分暗躍したみたいだけど。
Mum learned about her pregnancy after that and plotted several times to split Asumu-san and Dad apart, but
アスムさんあんなにぼんやりしてそうなの
even though Asumu-san always acted like such an airhead.
ルドルフさんを加え込んだら話やしない
Yeah, that's the worst thing. No, because obviously if you have a family with, you know, rewards as big as the Ushidomiya family, why would you ever want to let go? Yeah, once she got her hands on Rudolph-san, she didn't let
だ
go.
から何ですかどうぞお引き取りくださいですってよ
God, yeah. Isn't it really quite interesting to think that with relationships, and especially with other parties, it inspires such massive amounts of toxicity. It's unbelievable. Yeah, why should I care? Please stay out of our way, she'd say.
バス一つ乗るにも怖い怖いと縮こまってたあの小娘
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is low. And this coming from the little girl that would curl up in a ball every time she got on her butt.
あの
Jesus
時
Christ.
悟ったわ
Proper cowardice, God. At that
本
point, I
当に
realised.
狡猾だったのは彼女だったって
Yeah,
ね
no. No, I do see that. Yeah, she had been the truly cunning one.
そうよ乗り物恐怖症だってルドルフさんの気を引くための嘘だったわ
Yeah, that's horrible. No, because of this, you know, having constant lies and fake things that you need to keep up with in a relationship, I mean, my God, that's awful. It's just proper dishonesty. Yes, even her fear of vehicles was another lie to catch Rudolph-san's sympathy. Yeah, that's sad.
ごめんなさい
My apologies.
こんな話を聞いてもつまらないわ
No, you are not boring us. I must be boring you. Oh no.
いえ
せめて
At the very least.
私の産む子だけでも認知させたかったわ
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted him to acknowledge the child I would give
ルド
birth
ルフ
to.
さんもそのつもりはあったみたい
It seemed as though Rudolph-san was prepared to
病
do
院も
that.
きっちり手配してくれたし
Yeah,
ア
that's
スムさんの
nice.
出産が近づいても海外しく私のところにも来てくれてたっけ
Yeah, he made sure that there was a hospital waiting for me, and even though Asumu-san was close to giving birth herself, he gallantly came to see
も
me!
はや向こうが本当の奥さんなのね
God, I mean, obviously it does make sense that, you know, I suppose it is a good thing to do to try and support somebody who is giving birth that you have a connection to, but my God, I mean, would Kyrie at this time really have wanted to see anybody but him? I mean, my God, I couldn't imagine just, you know, having it so that you have just having such a nightmarish situation about women-related things, you know, completely being stolen by the future person that you actually want to love, and then after that having that person, when you're in one of the most important times of your life, you know, visit you. It could either be a really good or really bad thing, even though she was already his
ひどい
wife.
人だわ
Yeah, no, I see that. Yeah, what an awful man, really. No, I'm honestly... Oh, God. After that is a tale I can't even bear to tell. Oh, that's scary. Both Asumu and I had the same delivery date. Jesus Christ, somebody had a bit of lust. I.e., he fucked both of them on the same day. Jesus Christ. Oh yeah, that's horrible. Yeah, that is horrible. And yet her pregnancy had meant her marriage, where mine was completely meaningless. I swore to bring out my child well and have Rudolph-san acknowledge it. The fight between Asumu-san and me ended with my loss. However, I wasn't down for the count. if I could... Oh, yeah, if I could make my child excel far more than Asumu-san's. Fair, yeah, if I could make it fully acknowledged by Rudolph-san, I would be rewarded. That's what I believed.
しかしキリエの子は
God.
死産だった。
Yeah, that's horrible. Whether that child was a stillbirth.
ええ、
Yeah,
アスムさんには
that's
お兄ちゃんが生まれ
brutal.
た。
No, she didn't. Asumu-san. Yeah, what is the story behind that? Genuinely, how the hell is Ushidomi Abatada not Asumu's child? Seriously, Asumu-san gave birth to Oni-chan.
しかしお母さんからは誰も。
Yeah, but mom didn't give birth to
お
anyone.
母さんのせめて第二夫人の座に残りたいという最後の希望は
Yes, so is that. Yeah, even mum's final hope of being left a spot as dad's second wife was destroyed. Yeah, isn't it ironic to think that we know about Kyrie? If you know, this hope wasn't actually fulfilled, then we wouldn't have really been able to, you know about this. But yeah, isn't it interesting to think that, you know, Asumu dying has actually meant that Kyrie has been able to have the relationship with the person that she's probably dreamed to have a relationship with. But the only thing is, why did Asumu die, and also how? I mean, you know, to have a relationship with Rudolph, you've probably got to be in, like, maybe your 40s or 30s or something like that. You know, really, you're fucking young to die. So I just wonder what actually happened to her. Yeah, that's so sad. That really is. Could there potentially be some false narration going on here? I don't know, I think that's really, really unlikely, but I mean, if there's nothing else that makes sense about why this mystery actually has occurred, then obviously I'd want to look into false narration potential. That's so awful. Oh my god, how do you live with something like that? Yeah, Kyrie had fallen from being his partner to being his second wife. Oh my god, yeah, that's horrible. And to think that Rudolph still, even after this, you know, has the balls to actually, you know, continue this relationship and try to... Because the thing is, I kind of get the impression that Kyrie is completely dependent on it. But, you know, Rudolph obviously has the choice whether he can, you know, cool it off or just, you know, just continue it. I mean, yeah, Kyrie had fallen from being his partner to being his second wife. Oh, God, yeah, a second wife. It's unbelievable. And then, unable to give birth to the bond of a child, she tumbled down to being merely his mistress. Yeah, that's horrible. I can't imagine. Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. How much she must have hated Asumu and that kid, Basila. Yeah, and it is just really quite interesting to think that, you know, she is such a good person that she didn't take it out on Basila whatsoever. But that probably is because of the fact that, you know, Rudolph has actually made up with her somehow, and despite that... I know, it's so impressive. It genuinely is. Yeah, Mom was able to act in a very friendly way towards Oni-chan. It was definitely a shock for me. Yeah, me too. Yeah. That was horrible. It must have taken a lot of work. Yeah, to think that my gentle mother had held such negative emotions for Oni-chan and managed to hide them. Yeah, because I mean, the thing is, this is the worst thing about, you know, kids. It's kind of like what Kasumi couldn't do, really. You know, it's just, you know, you have negative emotions because of the fact that, you know, somebody is the, you know, the son of the person who has totally messed up your life and totally has made it so that, you know, you have no husband whatsoever, you have no chance of having a relationship, and obviously, even if Rudolph had, you know, not made it so that Asumu was his wife, you know, Kyrie would have still had a stillbirth, but I think it's just extra insulting to think that, you know, Asumu got it all good, you know, Asumu had, you know, completely won Rudolph's heart over, and then made it so that, you know, there was no stillbirth and that they could have a kid together, whereas nothing happened with Kyrie. You know, just winning, her totally winning in lotteries where Kyrie is just doing anything but. It must be horrible. It's impressive, it really is. Oh yeah. No, but the only thing is, it's not Basila's fault. I mean, even though he's the child of the person that she hates ridiculously much, it's not his fault whatsoever. But and I think she was probably able to understand that, probably. If Asumu-san still had a stillbirth, if Asumu-san had had a stillbirth and Mum had given birth to Oni-chan, yeah, understandable. Yeah, if Asumu-san. Yeah, I don't disagree whatsoever, because obviously Asumu would be the person in Kirie's position. Yeah, history might have changed in some way. Had that been the case. Yeah. Had that been the case, it seemed that she would have wanted to set up some scenario in which she'd make Dad divorce Asumu-san and marry her instead. Yeah, that's fair, yeah. Was that also written in the book where she kept her thoughts? Yeah. God. Yeah, that's understandable. After all, that was just a random thought, a delusion. Yeah, that's so brutally put. God. Yeah, Mum's resentment as she chewed on the corner of her tear-stained bedsheets. God. That is proper horrible, horrible luck. I mean, obviously there are so many things that, you know, Kyrie, yeah, a fitting expression if you ask me. Yeah. There's just one thing I regret. You mean the pregnancy? No, no. It's my arrogance I regret. Oh yeah, no, I see that, yeah. Yeah. Rudolph-san is mine now, so I'm completely safe. Ooh, yeah, isn't that really quite interesting to think that Kyrie is just thinking she's totally superior to everything. Yeah, and as a result of that, she never actually looked in the possibilities of situations that could have happened. It's my arrogance I regret. Rudolph-san is mine now, so I'm completely safe. I'll never lose to that Asumu kid. Yeah, definitely, yeah. When she was busy screaming her head off on buses and planes. Jesus Christ. I was capable of properly managing the arrangements and expenditures for the... Yeah, I like that. No, it's just genuinely unbelievable to think that that's not the case. I mean, I just think that's so unfair. The fact that, you know, you can do so much effort, yet the people who are just simple have, you know, more to gain from a person who is just looking for simplicity, really. And so I was overly confident that I was the one who Rudolph-san trusted the most. I mean, I do understand this, but the thing is, I mean, you must really have to love somebody if, you know, you were desperate to actually win them over this much. I mean, you are willing to go through this much just to get with them. It's absurd.
恋って育むって言うでしょ
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they say love needs to be nurtured, right?
はい
Yeah,
間違ってないわ
that's not wrong.
二人で水をやり世話をして育む
Oh, I see. Yeah, the two of you need to water it, care for it, and nurture it.
そして最後に結実するのが愛という実なの
I like that analogy. It's really quite pleasant. And in the end, it will finally bear through the fruit called
知
love.
ってる
Did you know?
結実して終わりじゃないのよ
Ah, love doesn't end when it bears fruit.
愛を収穫しなきゃ恋は成就したことにならないの
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, if you don't harvest it as well, the romance you started with will never amount to
収
anything.
穫って
Harvest it.
それはジェシカちゃんが考えなさい
You need to think about that yourself,
実らせ
Jessica
て
Chan.
も収穫しなきゃ傷んで腐ることもある
Oh, that's actually really interesting. I suppose that actually kind of applies with Kyrie's situation. Like, though she has the result of, you know, though she has had the result of the love between Rudolph and, you know, her at the same time because of the fact that, you know, she's never actually nurtured it and she's never made sure that Rudolph wouldn't actually go to someone else and be tempted by someone else. This is the worst thing about being such a popular businessman as well. I mean, you were just... Especially if you have a charismatic personality that is just a women magnet, then yeah, of course it would be really difficult in a situation with Kyrie. It must have been awful just to have that constant stress.
虫がたかることだってもちろんあるの
Oh, I like that. Yeah, and bugs will often gather around it. I mean, I don't really think much of that is the case in Jessica's case, because of the fact that there is never going to be anyone like Kanon for Jessica. But at the same time, with Kyrie's case, sure, yeah, and bugs will often gather around it. Yeah, bugs will try and leech from the thing that you have created.
盗っ人が現れて
Oh yeah, I
も
love
ぎ取っ
that.
ていってし
Yeah.
まうことさえもね
In fact, sometimes thieves will come by and pluck it off the branch. That's a really good analogy.
ジェシカちゃんたち若い子の恋愛観は育むところで終わってる
Young kids like you, Jessica Chan, think that love ends with
それ
nurturing.
は甘いわ
That's not
愛
you.
を収穫しなきゃ恋は報われない
I do see that, yeah. If you don't harvest it, you'll never be rewarded for your love.
収穫
Oh,
それは
God, she is just
一見愛し
totally
合う二
bewildered.
人きりだけの問題に見えてそんなことはないの
At a glance, it may seem to be a matter just between the pair of lovers, but that
だ
isn't
か
true.
らいつ収穫しても自由なんていう先延ばしは盗っ人に機
Oh,
会を与えるだけ
seriously, yeah. Yeah, because obviously you can't do it at any time in Jessica's situation. You either, you know, make it so that the love has the most potential it could have now, or you can never do it whatsoever. Putting off the harvest because you assume you can do it at any time just gives the
苦労
thieves a
して育
chance.
てた実が翌朝にもぎ取られてなくなっていたら
Yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, and that quite literally could happen because of the fact that they may all be dead. What if the fruit you've worked so hard to nurture gets pulled off the branch the
昨
next
日の
morning?
うちにめんどくさがらずに
Yeah.
収穫しておけばよ
Yeah,
かった
that's the
と後悔
worst
するは
thing.
ずよ
Yeah, you'll regret that you didn't choose to harvest it the previous day instead of complaining.
辛いわよその後悔
Yeah, and she knows how it feels. Yeah, that regret really
地
hurts.
獄を這うわよ
It'll make you crawl through hell.
私はこう思うよ
I'm lucky.
その地獄が18年で終わっ
Jesus! No, you are not! My hell ended after 18 years. But to be fair, some would never have it end. So I see why she says she's, you know, lucky. Yeah, so I'll never misjudge myself again.
たあの人は私のもの
Yeah, that person is
もう
mine.
逃がさない手放さない
Oh yeah, that is fair because obviously this is what happened when, you know, this 18 years could have potentially been prevented if that never happened. I won't let him get away. I won't let him out of my
そ
sight.
して主に感謝す
And I'm grateful to my master.
るその機会を与えてくれて
What?
絶対にあの人を諦めないという絶対の意志に奇跡が応えてくれたんだね
My certain willpower in not giving up on that man, no matter what, was answered with a miracle. What? Ooh, that's interesting. That is also really quite key. My God. Yeah, so that is really interesting. We've got to think if Burn has actually done anything regarding this, then what has actually... I just genuinely can't believe that. So, you're saying that Burn is Kirige's master? What? Yeah, that is really interesting because we've obviously got to think about why has the miracle actually occurred? What would actually be gained from this? And what would be different as well? That's a really hard question. What would be gained by Kyrie actually having the power to, you know, not give up on Rudolph? So as a result of that, just, you know, get into the Ushinomiya family and then... No, I do find it really interesting to think, like, could it be potential that there was, maybe, before Burn was actually there would be no certain willpower. So maybe, because of the fact that the game needed to be made as interesting as possible, you get somebody who's really quite smart, and then you know, obviously hook them up with Rudolph, and then she can be a member of the game board. So that means, you know, with her intellect, people are going to stand more of a chance, so the game board's going to be more interesting. Because do keep in mind with the witches, if they feel that their opponents are just completely, you know, if they're no match for their opponents, the opponents are losing at such a bad level that there is no point of them actually playing, then, you know, why would they enjoy it? They've got to have people like this who would enjoy it. I think that could be likely. I don't know. It's really interesting. Oh, yeah, understandable. Yeah, by now, Jessica was speechless. I didn't even urge Kyrie to continue. Oh, yeah, she knows. Yeah, isn't it ironic to think that Jessica could not have asked a better person for this? This true form of love that Kyrie was telling her about. Oh, yeah, I don't disagree with that. Was far more harsh than anything she had imagined. Yeah. Right now. Yeah, definitely, yeah. I would do anything to keep Rudolph's arm by my side. And I will show no mercy against his enemies. God. If he wished it, I might not even hesitate at murder. Because I finally resolved myself to doing that on the 18th year. What the fuck? You are fucking with me. No, you are not fucking with me. I meant, you are fucking with my mind right now. You were telling me that Kyrie murdered Asumu. What? That's certain willpower. Well, I mean, obviously, if you make it so that Asumu's killer was never actually realised to be Kyrie, sure, but what the hell brought about a miracle? This is so messed up. Jesus Christ. But isn't it just really interesting to think that, you know, the fight for love and the competition for love and the constant, you know, pressure to actually be able to, you know, be with the person that you love, and, you know, the awful feelings from having somebody completely insulting, you know, separated from you. I just genuinely can't believe that that has, you know, driven somebody to murder. And as we can see from Kyrie right here, the fact that she is actually here right now with Rudolph obviously shows that firstly she's got away with it. Secondly, she's never really, you know, told Rudolph about it either. Yeah, you know, Miracle, and that's because of her intellect. I don't disagree with anything else. Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting. That certain willpower brought about a miracle for me. You know, miracles only appear for those who can bring them to completion themselves. Yeah, fair enough. Miracles aren't just granted, you need to work a ridiculous amount of time for them. Oh, right, Asuma's death had not been a murder of any sort. However... Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, she did really sound like a murderer just there, yeah. However, Kyrie had constantly cursed her and hoped for her death. And finally, on the 18th year... It's a bit contradictory. And finally, on the 18th year, she had built up the determination to kill her with her own hands. And she had actually got on herself a blade to do the deed with. That was when the miracle had occurred. That is really weird. So isn't that really quite interesting that Kyrie was going to wish death on Asumu and, you know, she was literally going to kill her. She got the knife ready, but at the same time she had already died. That's weird though. I just genuinely don't understand who else would do it. Is there another person who, you know, feels like this with Rudolph? Who knows? Aunt Asumu passing away was a miracle. Seriously though. Oh, wrong. That wasn't even close to a miracle. After all. No, but definitely. So she would have inevitably been dead anyway. But at the same time, I just genuinely don't understand who has done this. Or maybe there is some sort of natural cause that has killed her. If she hadn't died, I would have killed her. I mean, true, but the fact that you didn't do it, could that be considered a miracle? In other words, she was fated to die no matter what. Yeah, it wasn't by Kyrie's hands. The miracle is that even though she did die... Seriously though, yeah, I didn't have to get my hands dirty. That's all. God, isn't it just really interesting that we're seeing a side of Kyrie that is just absurdly malicious, because, you know, she has such pain hidden behind her intellect, and, you know, there is some time where she needs to use that maliciously. God. Such an absurdly malicious side, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, and up until now, Kyrie had never shown Jessica, or anybody else, yeah. God, no, she had never even shown Rudolph that glint in the deepest depths of her eyes. No, 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 no. No, it told plainly and clearly that romance and love are not the sweet and fluffy candies that young girls imagine them to be. Yeah, happy sugar life. Well, happy sugar life is paedophilia, not love. But you get what I mean. Why the fuck is there an ant? Oh no, it's a spider that looks like an ant. Right. Dude, why? Why does so many... Oh, that's not a big deal. I hate it when insects actually crawl on your screen. It's really quite inconvenient. Yeah, actually, never mind. It is. Of course it's fucked off. Ugh. Thank you, spider. Very cool. It told plainly and yeah. Yeah, Jessica was overwhelmed by that pressure and stuns on it. Oh yeah, understandable. Yeah, it's just interesting to think that, you know, you have such a nice and kind person with Kyrie. I think it's really, really good to see, you know, the beginning of the scenes where Jessica was just, you know, talking and was really quite, you know, apprehensive about what she was about to do. And, yeah, it was just interesting, you know, just getting into this conversation with Kyrie, asking about, you know, the proper depths of love and, you know, asking for advice, really. And just having a gradual, you know, increase in knowledge about Kyrie's experiences. You know, it's just interesting seeing the beginning Kyrie, the one that is nice and innocent, and then the one after, who has told you the true contents of her heart, and then you just realise how much pain she has had to bottle up. Yeah, and it's just horrible to think that she could have made her life infinitely worse with murder, but she didn't. Yeah, Jessica was overwhelmed by that pressure and stunned silent, and she had to acknowledge it. Oh yeah, that's the worst thing. Love can make people do the worst possible things. Yeah, this is the power of will that can make love be realised. I mean, even though it is just really quite interesting to think, like, if you're in a situation like this, you are addicted to the love, so much so that, you know, you would do anything to it for it. And it's just horrible to think that, you know, these people would do such evil things, but because of the fact that they would have a good life afterwards, they don't care about any of the effects, and they think it's necessary. With the force of this willpower, Kyrie had supported Rudolph as a wife. Yeah, and it was the same as George's. Fair enough, yeah. He had already developed and proven that he had the willpower to oppose all obstacles to love between different classes. So yeah, right now Jessica can clearly understand. This was the magnitude of George's determination. I know, isn't it just interesting to think that he has such a ridiculous amount, so much so that he's able to, you know, it's cold, it's inhumane, but at the same time it's a proper show of determination. Which had allowed him to coldly carry out this part of the trial. Then what about, oh I know, such a good question, yeah. Did she really have the resolve to make her love of Kanon bear fruit? And then to harvest that fruit? Hmm.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
軽いアドバイスのつもりが怖がらせすぎちゃったかしら。
I like that. Yeah, you probably just wanted a little advice and I've scared you.
この天気のせいね。
Blame the weather. Fair enough, yeah.
軽く凄むだけのつもりだったのに、加減を間違えちゃった。
Oh no, I see. I mean, obviously, Kyrie, I think she's gone too far, but this is definitely what was needed for Jessica, because obviously that has made it so that the proper urgency of this situation has been realised, really. I'm sorry, you probably just wanted a little advice and I've scared you. Blame the weather. I just wanted to pressure you a bit, but I've gone overboard. Yeah, let out a relaxed smile. Let a relaxed smile rise to her face. The tense atmosphere had finally slackened. However, oh yeah, her words have been gouged into Jessica's heart. Oh, that's not very
ジェシカ
good.
ちゃんの恋がどんなものかはわからないけれど、
I don't know what your love has been like, Jessica-chan.
ライバルがいて、お互いが譲れない状況ならばなおのこと、のんびりなんかしてられない。
Yeah, that's the worst thing.
じゃないと私みたいになっちゃうわよ。
Fair, yeah. I don't know what your love has been like, Jessica-chan, but if you have a rival and neither is willing to back down, you can't let yourself become complacent. If you do, you'll end up like me.
女は恋のために
For the sake of love.
人生で一度殺意を持つべきよ。
That is so twisted. But at the same time, I can see where it comes from. Yeah, a woman should be prepared to kill at least once in
世
her
界
life.
中で母を名乗るすべての女がそうだったと断言できるわ。
I can tell you that all the women in the world who call themselves mothers have gone through that.
だって
After all.
そうじゃない女は他の女に食い殺されて生涯を嫉妬と後悔の地獄で這い続けるのだから。私はその地獄に18年いた。
God, she really... Isn't it just really interesting to think that, you know, she realised that she was just going a little bit overkill with it, and then she stopped, but then she just so easily goes back to it. She so easily can speak her feelings, and it just shows how genuine they are, really, and just how from the heart they are, and how much they've scarred her as well. The fact that, you know, even if she tries to be a little bit... talk about a little bit more, you know... well, not really innocent, but, you know, more relaxing things, then, you know, she just can't because of how horrible it is, really. Women who don't do that are chewed to bits by the others and forced to crawl through the hell of envy and regret for the rest of their life. Yeah, I like that analogy, yeah. My hell lasted 18 years.
幸運よ。
God,
たった
yeah.
18年で恩赦になれた。
No, but the only thing is just because of the fact that Kyrie has doesn't necessarily mean that Jessica will. She won't, because of the fact that Kanon has, you know, he's always going to die if this doesn't work. I was lucky to be pardoned after just 18 years.
あの地獄には今も大勢の女たちがいて、
Yeah, I don't disagree.
死ぬまで出られないの。
Yeah. The hell is still filled with women who will never get out until they
後
die.
悔する自分を自らの手で処刑し
Yeah,
ない限り
agreed.
ね。
Yeah, unless they execute themselves in their regret.
なんていうか言葉もないです。
How should I put it? I have nothing to say.
エールを送るつもりだったのに、私ったら
Oh
脅し
no, I
すぎ
see
た
that. No, the only thing is I think this is a severe reality check. It's brilliant. I was trying to cheer you on, but here I've gone and scared you too much.
本当にごめんなさい。
I'm truly sorry.
恋愛なんてもっともっと気楽でいいのよ。
It can be, to be fair. I think Kyrie really has experienced some of the worst, you know, levels of it. But at the same time, I do see it can be. Yeah. Love can be much more easy
恋愛
going
な
than
ん
that,
て
okay?
本当に火遊び。
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Love really is like playing with
誰
fire.
でも簡単に気軽に遊べちゃう。
Anyone can play easily and
そして間
lightheartedly.
違えて大やけどしたとき、その傷
Yeah,
が生涯
fair
残るんだ
enough.
けどね。
Yeah. Yeah, but when you mess up and get burned, that scar stays with you for your whole life. Yeah, regrets from love never fade. Exactly, though, yeah. Yeah, that was all that Kyrie had been trying to communicate. It wasn't like Kyrie to start telling stories from her past, stories you would normally expect her to avoid. instead of giving her a brief answer. Isn't it just really quite interesting that, yeah. However, Kyrie might have thought Jessica deserved to hear it. Jessica had timidly brought up the subject of love. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Perhaps Kyrie had opened up and told everything she had seen. The fires of... Oh, yeah, because she had seen the fires of Jessica's determination in her eye. Yeah, that is interesting. That's gonna be interesting. Is she really going to be able to head back, though? That is the question. I don't know. Right, so, yeah, I think I'm probably going to end here. Oh my god, that was really, really fun. I loved, and yeah, obviously I'm going to end here, and then we're going to see, you know, just how, everything kind of progresses, and in general, what's actually going to happen regarding Jessica's trial. Who is she going to kill? I mean, I'm sorry, but are you really, really going to kill Kyrie after she has told you and taught you valuable life lessons that are this, you know, significant? Or maybe that is the proof. Maybe you're not going to have the courage to make it so that you know, have resisted somebody on your roulette. Maybe you are still going to do this in order to prove the depths of your feelings. God, it's just so controlling and so absurdly messed up, and yeah, it's just so tragic, because I think this just really, really shows just the ridiculous extent to which people will do stuff for love, really. And it's just, it is interesting that a lot of the Umineko episode 6 theme at the moment, it's been absurd tragedy, don't get me wrong, but also really, really love themed as well, showing every single angle they can about love. And yeah, it's going to be really quite interesting to see what Jessica's trial is actually going to be like tomorrow, and you know, also in general what's going to happen regarding you know, Beatrice's trial as well. I'm actually quite excited to see Beatrice's trial, because I feel like that is going to be so different, and whatever it's going to be, I feel like Beatrice is really going to change after the end of it. She's going to be totally different. Maybe Battle is going to accept her, who knows. And also, by the way, the first Twilight as well. I mean, I do like episode 6, but I just kind of wish this was a little bit after the first Twilight. I just kind of wish, you know, but to be fair, maybe there's going to be a lot going on that's really quite significant when the first Twilight starts. So maybe when I'm reading this later, I'll be kind of grateful for the fact that this was early in the story. I don't know, it just feels really weird to play an Umineko episode where, like, you know, basically we're probably around halfway into the... No, we're not halfway into the story right now. We're probably around a third of the way into the story, and yet we still haven't got anything on the first Twilight. It just feels weird. But, yeah, I am really excited to actually experience it. And my god, I thought George's trial was very, very interesting. And, yeah, isn't it just really interesting to think that he has literally done patricide, but at the same time, you know, just because of the fact that the depths of his feelings are so absurdly high, he will gladly do it, and he will do it without anyone telling him otherwise. I mean, it is interesting and it is very commendable, but at the same time it's just horrible as well. And I really do wonder if in this story, you know, what they have done to actually display the feelings of their love. Firstly, I do wonder if they are actually going to get the future they deserve with their love. Do keep in mind that these people were demons. Why are they necessarily going to give George that future, or anyone who actually wins? Why are they going to... Well, to be fair, demons don't break promises, ironically, but at the same time, they may. Who knows? Yeah, I really don't know. Or maybe they take the promise out of context. Maybe that's what they do. I don't know. But, yeah, it is going to be really quite something. I do wonder it's going to be very interesting whatever we play. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I hope you have a good one.